Hopefully nowhere near me. Hope we're not talking about the shit going on in the Middle East. When have I ever done a stream like that, brother? Come on. Come on! Now, some of you have guessed something we're going to look at today, but there's another far more pressing issue. If I go through both of the things I'm going to look at before the end of the stream, which is highly likely, I'll fill in with some trash games. No one's guessed the first thing we're going to look at. And the first thing we're going to look at is a very, very late... don't want to spoil it. Can't use a particular word. Very, very late follow-up to something we looked at, I don't know, like a year or two ago? I don't know. I feel sick as fuck. I feel real bad. It might just be the heat. But I got like a sore throat and I feel real hot and achy all over. I might have gotten the plague. I was around. Yeah, that's what I'm segueing into. I was around a lot of people. I was around.
WPC.
Is it good? I presume it must be. Hope you didn't catch any event/concert games. Sorry, not games, germs. I'm thinking that's entirely possible. Thank you. Is that safe? Can I just use like a really soft pad? Really soft pad on my scalp? Okay, we can... How long is the new WPC? I've got another similar... Friendship hug with Taylor Glore. I did see a text post of his. Okay. It's a short WPC, it's 7 minutes long. We'll do WPC, we'll do the opener I planned, and then we'll do Ethan. Yeah. Padding my boldness? What do you mean? By the way, yeah, on Tuesday and on Wednesday I was in Manchester. I stayed overnight there at a pretty nice little Marriott hotel called The Reach. Our floor smelled... There was like an earthy, beetrooty smell throughout the floor. Maybe a touch of dog, because it's dog friendly. But our room didn't smell. At least I don't think so. And it was very quiet, so that's pretty good. And the reason I was in Manchester, and the reason I stayed in Manchester, is because I didn't want to have to go back home very late and tired. Because saw Nine Inch Nails. Saw Nine Inch Nails live. I'm not really a Nine Inch Nails fan, but they were very good. As in, not like I don't like them, but I'm just simply not very familiar with them. I know that Johnny Cash cover they did. You know, and they closed with it. They closed with Hurt. Oh yeah, Discord. Multiple people were reminding me. I should do it right now. I was informed by Lucky Bee that they were playing some real old stuff. One of the tracks they played, I've learned, they had not played since 1991, the year of my birth. They played That's What I Get. They of course played Head Like a Hole. They didn't play the Quake theme, but there was more than one person wearing Quake merch. And it was one of them was like a young guy, could not have been older than 20. He had a Quake shirt with sleeves with the quad damage pickups all down the arms and stuff. Yeah, it wasn't bad. They played 19 tracks, but their set was only an hour and 20 minutes. Their set was like an hour and 20 minutes. I expected it to be a bit longer, and certainly Lucky Bee did as well. And online it said it's normally like an hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours, but I guess Trent is getting older. Trent is an old man now. I got a picture of him where... Well, I have to tell you something else as well. I'll show you a picture and then I'll explain something. Where's the damn picture? Yeah. Call me crazy, but I think in this picture I got, he looks like Jeremy Kyle. Any Brits? I think he looks a bit like Jeremy Kyle, man. Oh. The video was really cool. Yeah, you can see him. You can see him. See that little black shadow man in the background? See the little black shadow man in the background? There was an active camera gremlin on stage at all times. There was a guy with a big fucking like television broadcast camera running around like filming to go up on the screens. Like he was like fucking crawling on the floor to get shots and zooming around and blah, 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 blah. All sorts of shit. There was also, what else was there? Some other weird shit. I was tricked the whole time. You know the Kaaba, whatever? You know that cube the Muslims all walk around? The Oud Stink cube. Apparently, Nine Inch Nails are encased in it. Someone said nice seats. We were in general admission. We just went... We were in general admission. We're just above everyone else because we stayed at the back. It was just like, fuck it. Oh yeah, my ticket didn't work. Yeah. Lucky Bee transferred my ticket to me the night before. And then we went to get in at the barrier. I tried to beep it. And it said it worked, but wouldn't let me through. So I activated NFC and did it through another app. On my phone, check mark appeared, said it was all good. And a lady was trying to help me, but then she just like fucked off. And Lucky Bee had to like yell at her to come back or something. I don't remember. I feel real tired. I'm all fucked up. It's too hot. It's too hot. Eventually some other guy came through, checked my ticket and let me through. But like, everything else was fine. There was practically no wait. We got through security instantly. All that shit. Nightmare to get through the ticket barrier. Nightmare. Temperature is 29 outside right now. It's 29 outside. I've got aircon on in here though. But either I'm sick or the aircon and fans all day are making my throat all dry. Because my throat hurts like... It hurts pretty bad. Hurts pretty bad. I got a... They sold the... They were selling mega pints. I got a Johnny Depp mega pint. Yeah, I didn't take it down though. You can see her hand. People have seen her hand before. Yeah, it's not Lucky Bee's hand, it's my wanking claw. I decided to get a double pint and a peach and a Miami peach cocktail. Did I steal the cup? No. I probably should have though. How much do you think that double pint cost? Double pint of Seven Brothers IPA. Shades was close. £18.
My God.
Thank you very much.
Those other hands are homosexual.
Excuse me, you wish. No, they get you in there and then it's £9 a pint. I think Lucky Bee's cocktail was like £12 or something. I'm trying to remember the ad. Yeah. It's a concert, what do you expect? I expect to get gouged, not like stabbed, literally. Alright? You buy expensive, shitty food. I wanted a beer at the concert. You can't bring it in. And once you're in, they charge whatever the fuck they want. They got me. Had some interesting food, though. Earlier in the day, I had some good street food. I had some bad street food. The next day, like, I don't know where the fucking photos are. They're hidden. Well, I can show you some of the street food. Just, you know, a smash burger with onion rings and some blue milk. That was alright. I'll show them the pants ruin. It looked like I pissed myself with a severe infection. It looked like I blood pissed all over my pants. Because we got tacos. We got tacos. The guys at the taco stall were real nice. Okay. I wanted a steak taco. They were out. So I got the chicken instead. And the guy asked if I'd ever had them before. I said, nah. Never had them before. So he said, alright. I'll give you 2 chicken, 1 birria. So you can try the original. All of the tacos were like drenched in oil, like literally wet on the outside, all over. The chicken ones had like really, really sweet, I think, chipotle mayo on them that dominated everything. The birria just tasted like stewed beef, couldn't taste anything else. Ludicrous amount of cheese that didn't come through at all. And when I bit into the birria, it just pissed out the back all over my trousers. So I had to go and buy new shorts for the concert. I went and fucking bought new shorts. Birria tacos? They fucking sucked, man. It was not good. It was bad. If you're in Manchester and you go to the street food village, the Korean corn dogs are good. This just had tons of cheese in it. Got the ultimate cheese bomb. Yeah. Oh. God, it's so fucked. I fucking hate heat. Get rid of it. Breakfast, of course. I had steak and eggs. Alright? There's what it looks like from above. There's what it looked like from the side. Guess the price. Guess how much for steak and eggs? It's the game we're playing. It's not Scrandle. Fnormonger's real close. It was £21. It was £21. I'll show you my lunch as well, and then I'll get on with the videos. I just have to do, you know, a progress report. Let you know what's going on during the week. For lunch, the steak and eggs was very good. It was really, really good. What's that in stones? Aha, weight joke. I get you. Weight joke. I get you. I get you. For lunch, I got a platter of sushi. First of all, something I don't fucking appreciate. They took our food outside and videoed it for their social media. They took our food outside, like we were sitting inside, and they took our food to the outdoor seating, took photos of it, and then brought it to us. Which I find kind of fucking weird. Like, take pictures in the kitchen or whatever. Don't be fucking bringing my food outside and then bring it back in. Lucky V said they were like shooting some kind of smoke over it. I don't know. Crazy. There's rice underneath. The rice was not good. The rice was not right. I don't think the rice was seasoned either. I don't think it had any vinegar or anything. How much do you think I paid for this? This platter of bites. Shed's close again. 26. Ghost Hole was close as well. 26 pounds. One or two of the pieces were good. The rest were just like, whatever. In terms of the netta, the topping. The rice itself was like, you guys don't know what you're doing, kind of thing, kind of situation. Wouldn't be shocked if they have a bunch of little rice slugs ready at all times. Wouldn't be shocked. Scallop tasted really good. The akami tasted really good. Big, I should have known it was like a red flag when the fatty tuna, they just called toro. They didn't say otoro, didn't say chutoro, didn't say that other third fatty cut that's closer to the tail. I can't remember the name of it. Just toro. I feel like that's always a questionable sign. Yeah, not too great. Lucky Bee was not happy with hers. I don't think I have a photo of it to hand. She got to experience, for the first time, surf clam, which, what is akami? Imagine you see like a tuna side on, and that's the head of the tuna. The top half is the redder, less fatty meat. The bottom half is toro, which is fatty meat, and the fattiest is closer to the head. There's medium fatty in the middle, and then the least fatty at the back. Yeah. Oh, I think that's about it. I think that's just about it. Oh yeah. One of the pieces I got was a shrimp head that I sucked out. It was pretty gritty. It was pretty gritty, as they have a tendency to be. A clam on a surfboard? No, you know the ones that look really cool? Where they're white with like a red spike? They just taste like rubber. They're just a rubber chewing gum creature that no one should eat. But it's always served on sushi. Like, you can't get away from it. I've never, ever, ever, ever had surf clam that was good. And by the sounds of Lucky Bee's reaction to it, she now is in the same club as me. She is now in the same club as me. Having never had good surf clam. Anyway. Oh yeah, went to some Asian supermarkets. You know those poppin' cookin' sets? Where you make little candy food? Got a few of those for the food channel to make on the food, to make on the food channel. Have I had langoustines? Yeah. I believe I can fly. Hold up. I believe in Iceland, when I got a lobster starter, they substituted in langoustines. I think those are shelled langoustines. Yeah. You were at a place called Mafia Sushi. Wasn't top expensive, but a lot of fried shrimp on rolls. They're like... The sort of shito Western sushi's really good. Like, California rolls taste really good. All that shit with fried stuff. And mayo. And sriracha and stuff all over it. And, avocado. It tastes really good. It's just something different. It's just different. Yeah. Yummy and buttery, yeah. Anyway. Hacha. Parasites are the most moral form of life, or moral life form, because they are the only animal that does not outright kill another being to gain nourishment. I appreciate your support of streamers. I'll remember this. I'll remember that you're a true ally to the content creator. You have to ignore YouTubeoids or you get banned. This is not true. You just have to not focus on them. You can point to examples of people being banned through ridiculous application of such a rule, but guess what? They do that with every rule. They do that with every fucking rule. It's more just if they want to ban you, they're going to get you with something. So, Evald. Evald says, seafood quality greatly depends on where it's sourced and how long it's traveled. Yes, but also, there is a problem. There is a problem in the EU, and I presume still in the UK. I imagine this isn't a priority to get reversed. But if you are going to serve raw fish in the UK, and this was like an EU rule, it has to be frozen first. It has to be totally frozen first. So, all sushi that has raw fish, all sashimi in the EU that is legally sold is a bit fucked. Is a little bit fucked. Just FYI, in case you didn't know. Alright. We have a short WPC update. Apparently something significant has happened. Then we're going to get on to the hot content creator goss. Isn't sashimi meant to be frozen? No? For health purposes, like to kill parasites, you can freeze it first. It's not like part of the preparation of the food though, it's a health. It's a way to address a health concern, okay? Alright. Oh, they make you do it in the US as well? Okay. Jamie, pull up the stats on parasitic infections in Japan.
You think I'm happy? No.
Wait, does it count? Can you call it a parasitic infection, or do you have to call it like an infestation?
You think I'm happy? No. I'd rather think about living in a penthouse.
Fair enough. Do you have anyone in chat? You got a counterpoint? Any counterpoint?
My
Harmful opinions is my
Thank you,
God.
Knife Garcia. People are like, why are the Japanese so slender? It's because they're healthy. They eat ramen and sushi. What? Just fucking carbs and salt? They're thin because of the parasites. Actually, the secret is Japanese people do not just eat 2 kilograms of rice every day. They are not. They are not just eating all that all the time. I'm gonna go to Japan and eat ramen 3 times a day. Watch as your blood sprays out of your eyes from the pressure.
knife is just going to be over there. I cannot wait to save up my bunch of my cash money so they're going to live in a penthouse.
He's gonna sell his money so that he can live in a penthouse. Okay.
So
That was a thing, by the way. Japanese are thin because Kabrutas ate all the rice. I don't literally mean Kabrutas ate all the rice, but remember all the J-vloggers were showing that on the TV there was some sort of rice shortage. They had to dip into emergency stockpiles, and the TV was like, "The fucking tourists are eating all our rice. Tourists go home."
yeah. I was thinking about get my own vehicle.
Alright.
So I was like thinking about like customize my own vehicle to make it fancy. You know what I'm saying? I really like it so much. I really like.
N-bomb, please do not call WPC Whitey.
Kind of like to think about living into the penthouse, but I'm not very quite sure
I saw that Lord Hobo videos.
about kind of like living in a mansion. I'm not very quite sure yet, because I want to be like a 100 trillionaire so badly.
Same. Would anyone say no to that? 100 trillion, no questions asked, it's just yours. No downsides, no trick, no monkey paw curls, 100 trillion. Yeah, I'm on board with this guy. Yeah.
So I'm either going to live in the penthouse or a mansion. I don't know. But living in an apartment, no. That's not going to happen in my life. That's not going to happen.
I have, like, bad news about. I have bad news.
Oh, what happens
Bronze Retriever is aware of the bad news I have for him.
is just some neighbors just go like, oh, keep it down. Oh, turn the music down. The people were trying to sleep. That's what they're going to say to me.
To me.
That's not going to happen. I'm never going to get the apartment.
You don't want me to become 100 trillionaire because I'd quit streaming. No. Something much worse would happen. As 100 trillionaire with all the free time in the world, something far, far more evil would occur. I'd become a full-time MMORPG streamer.
That's not going to happen. I was going to live in a penthouse or a mansion.
Why not have both? I think if you're 100 trillionaire, you can just have both.
So, yeah. So, thank you for all y'all subscribing me on my channel. I appreciate it, all y'all support by smashing the like button and put a comment by saying something nice. I appreciate it as well. So, anyways, all you Dark Warriors and all you Kato fans.
The Zero. I was noticing earlier that the auto captions also try to detect when someone is quoting someone else. And it hits pretty well.
CATOFANS. So, yeah. But you know what? Do you know why I think?
He streams video games regularly.
I think I want to be like 100 trillionaire so badly, so I go and live in a penthouse. But screw living in my parents' house.
Hell yeah.
I want
brother.
I don't want like living there no more.
Okay. What happened, big guy? What happened?
I know that my parents cared about me, but I don't care.
Oof. About them, or don't care that they care?
If my dog dies, I'm not gonna get another one.
What? I didn't even know he had a dog. And is that you not wanting one, or did his parents say once this dog's gone, that's it? What the?
I'm tired of those pet business jobs.
Oh, they make him what? Walk the dog, clean up the garden, whatever.
I'm tired of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can be tiring. Can be the last thing you want to do in the day.
I am no longer
Getting rid of the dreads. He's keeping them.
wearing my locks no more.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm thinking about cutting my locks off.
That's been the plan for months at this point. For people who don't know the lore, he's been saying it's going to happen. First, he said he was going to get an afro. Then he said he was going to get, like, short braids. His front lock on his damn front head, as he described it before, did fall off at some point.
I'm really going to think about
Literal baldy locks.
that. That's what I'm going to do.
What if he's like reverse Samson, though? What if his locks are the source of his autism and he shaves his head and he's just normal?
But you know what? I'm done. I'm completely 100% finished.
Alright.
This life is going to go to tear my life apart from the inside out.
What song do you think he heard? That's from a show or from a song. I guarantee it.
I'm rather gonna get a girlfriend soon.
But Glore.
It's gonna be called like Taylor Glore.
I want a girlfriend and it's gonna be called.
If me and Taylor were gonna get married, it's gonna be called Taylor Perkins Cato. Cato. Cato.
It.
Middle name is like Perkins.
I don't think it's a middle. I think he has a double barrel surname. I don't think Perkins is his middle name.
Like TPC.
Oh. So close.
Oh, yes. But nothing is never gonna change that. Nothing. I already married.
What? That is... What the fuck?
I already married. And I'm ending the video now. All you Dark Warriors and all your Kato fans.
Someone has made some rice shortage fan art. It's not me. That's not Japan. This isn't even a Japanese restaurant. This is a Chinese restaurant. This is Tattoo. Okay?
I'll let you know what was going on in the comment. I'll let you know. But if not, I'm rather gonna do it later to see what I think about saying something like in a comment.
Gotcha.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So see you. Peace out, y'all.
Right. WPC can't take it anymore. He'll tell you in the comments. Get ready. There is indeed a comment. Right. So this is the inciting incident. This is the casus belli. Ready? My parents think I didn't close the freezer door, right? That's bullshit. That I'm done living in my parents' house, and I'm thinking about living in a penthouse on my own, and I'm thinking about Taylor Glore, the one I went to speed dating with, of Smiles for Miles. I like that girl so much that I can imagine that I ever dream about her in my life between me and, but sooner or later, we were gonna get married and have kids that I'm gonna name my children. Eon Perkins Cato, Lil WPC, Laramie Perkins Cato, and Arcia Perkins Cato. That I love my kids, so the at I take of them, because I love them, and I care about them. So this video was a result of him not closing the freezer correctly. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued for defamation. It has been alleged by his parents that he did not properly close the freezer door. That led to his fantasies of being a 100 trillionaire, informing us that he's secretly already married and wants to get another wife. Very well. Very well. Speaking of updates, do you remember Wilbur Soot? Thank you very much. Pangolin. He is the man accused of continuing to bite without consent. The accusation wasn't that the biting was a problem, but that he bit too hard repeatedly on purpose, and while the girl initially consented to the biting, she didn't consent to it going as far as it did. I believe it was also alleged that he has a filthy cock. That's my memory. And that his house was full of ants. And the lady seemed more angry that he wouldn't give her kids than that he had a stink house and bit her. It was very strange. It was very strange. He is finally, after all this time, uploaded an update.
Hello, people of 2025. I hope you've all been well. This video
Salad fingers ass.
is going to be a bit of a different one for me. I've never been very good at update videos, but this channel's been inactive for so long, I thought one was probably...
Wasn't there a Minecraft YouTuber accused of the same stuff? Yes, it's him. He's a Minecraft YouTuber, as far as I'm aware.
well overdue. So I wanted to take this opportunity
I believe I branded him the Minecraft Masticator.
to quickly talk about what I've been up to the past couple of years, what you can expect from me going forward, and of course,
It's, you know, I don't have much relationship experience. These were just some teething pains.
future YouTube content. I've been really quite busy these past few months, so I haven't really had that much to show you guys anyway.
You bit off more than you could
as
chew.
most of you probably already know, that isn't the only reason I've been so quiet. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a quick minute to touch on that before I move into what the future holds.
Asking
There's
for consent.
been a lot of different clashing labels and opinions about me on the internet over the past year, the loudest of which on both
Why can't blacks give their kids normal names? I don't think this guy's black. He does have a weird name, though.
sides of the fence have been quite unhealthy, stemming from accusations made about me from just over a year ago. And look, I'm not here to drop any bombshells.
If you're talking about WPC, his fucking name is William. Yeah, you can't be talking about WPC.
I don't want to reopen any old discussions. I responded to the situation
I don't want to reopen any old bite wounds.
in February of last year, and I still stand by everything I said in that statement. I understand it was misinterpreted by some people, probably due to my wording, and I know some people are still looking for clarity, especially now.
I know it was misinterpreted, Probably because of what I said, but...
Nowadays, where personal transparency is more common amongst content creators than it's ever been before. However, this clarity, the clarity I've offered to my close friends and my family, would mean publicly sharing deeply personal parts of my private life.
That's fair, Warrior Wang, the children's name. I will still defend him on the children's names. WPC's controlling himself. Notice amongst those names he listed were not Jackster and Daxter Perkins Cato, which are other names he's floated in the past. So, comparatively...
And my relationships with the internet. I've never been comfortable doing that, and I don't believe that should be the cost of being understood. All I can say is that the labels that have been attributed to me by social media are not true, and I don't accept them.
What? He rejects the Minecraft Masticator label. You did bite, though. You're a Minecrafter who chews.
I don't believe
He's, of course, referring to what? Abuser? Rapist? I don't know.
in this expectation that content creators should use their platforms to attack and defend, and I definitely don't think that's how serious accusations should be handled. I felt this way for a really long time now, having seen other content creators go through similar situations, and I know it's not a perspective that's going to satisfy everyone, but it's one I can get behind, and I hope that makes sense to you.
It makes sense that you'd get behind it, yes.
None of this is me trying to dig up or dwell on the past here. I would just feel very strange if I carried on without at least acknowledging the past year, because all I can do now is move forward, and I hope you enjoy what I've been working on.
Yeah, so he's got something to sell us.
So,
Okay.
for those of you that know, I'm in a band called Lovejoy.
Okay, there
and
we
in
go.
2024,
Yeah, all right.
we did a tour of Southeast
Okay.
Asia, including Japan and Thailand. We did a tour of Australia. We did a few shows in the United States and the United Kingdom, and it was exhausting and very surreal. But it was all made worth it by how many of you guys came and showed up and gave us your love and support. We're eternally grateful. And we filmed a few hours of behind-the-scenes footage while we were out there,
Right.
which we've already
Okay.
edited down and put onto our new behind-the-scenes channel. So if you're at those shows,
okay.
you're a Lovejoy fan, or you're just a fan of behind-the-scenes content, you can go and subscribe to that. It'll be down in the description. The band and I wrote a few tracks, and then
right.
in classic fashion, we scrapped all of those tracks and started work on some new ones, which later came on to become our
The new single, Revenge of the Ant-Man.
finished debut
Ant-Man
album,
Bikes Back.
which will be coming out later this year. I wish I could tell you the date, but I am not allowed. But if you can't wait, our debut single, with Rob as my witness, is coming out on June 20th, complete with its own music video on our official band channel, which will be in the
Wow.
description. There's going to be plenty more gigs and shows and festivals
Right.
planned for the rest of this year, most of which aren't even announced yet.
What is your fucking camera attached to, by the way? Why is every movement of yours making the whole frame shake?
So if you don't want to miss those, go follow us on Instagram, down in the description as well. But now you may be
It's fucking horrific.
wondering what is happening with YouTube content, specifically this channel right here. Well, I am coming back to making YouTube videos.
No more Minecraft.
However, I'm probably done with Minecraft for the time being.
Let's go.
I also thought instead of publishing
Reformed. You have to abuse women if you... You have to make a choice. Abuse children, or like abuse women in extra weird ways, like by chewing them. If you want to be a Minecraft YouTuber, it's like becoming a politician. Mojang need dirt on you, so you have to do something fucked up to become a Minecraft YouTuber.
it on this channel, I would instead move my content onto my old channel, which I made in 2017 and has the incredibly creative name Wilbur Soot. If you've been following this channel, you'll know it's currently got my YouTube covers on there, which also aren't going anywhere. And if you haven't seen them, you can check those out in the description as well. This new old channel is the only channel currently solely run and controlled by me. This is something I've had planned for a few years now. In fact, anywhere. An 8 now. I know I've...
Yeah, nothing else. Let's take a quick look. What we got? Right. About what I expected. About what I expected. Okay. Me. The production is insane? No, it isn't. It's very, like, flimsy. It sounds very old-gen USB interface guitar tone. I don't agree. Anyway. On to what everyone expected. I don't want to get copyright troubles, so we'll listen to no more. You could say this is unfair to judge it purely based on that. Snake Eyes. But Anyway. Ethan Klein is suing these 3 content creators. We've known he was planning to sue Denims for quite a while, actually. If you paid attention. If you paid attention, he'd hinted at it with a slightly joking tone a few times. He'd said to one of his team members, you know, it's not if I'm going to sue her, it's how many times I'm going to sue her. You know? Other times, like immediately after she did the react to the Hassan content nuke, he was saying stuff like, well, wouldn't it be a shame if someone sued? Never mind, tee-hee. I think everyone saw that coming. But the other 2, who I am aware who the other 2 are. I'm sure you are as well. One of them probably counts as suing more than a single individual, though I'm not sure how that works. Anyway.
Hi there. My name is Ethan Klein. And my favorite hobby?
Whenever I see someone with a cigar, all I think is that's going to take a long time. That's going to take a long time to smoke.
Hi there. My name is Ethan Klein. And my favorite hobby is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers.
He should have peeled the end of that cigar off. Just the bit of the outer leaf, just a bit of the wrap leaf at the end, just peeled it off.
Today I invite you into my home to share my favorite pastime with you. Join me in creating generational wealth for my attorney.
Is this another 5D chess thing? Is he trying to bait people into anti-Semitism as well?
Let me tell you guys a story. About 1.5 years ago, it's a big conversation called
this camera shit when no one stabilizes their shit ever. I hate it. I hate it. Is it meant to make it seem more personal, like we're in there with him? What is this technique?
ReactGate. ReactGate was a debate going on in the streaming community about what constituted fair use. People like Hassan...
I make tons of camera videos. I make more videos with my camera than without, just not for harmful opinions.
XQC and many of the large Twitch streamers would watch other creators' entire video on their stream. They would rarely add sufficient commentary or even pause the video to speak. Most egregiously...
Sufficient. Sufficient, in your opinion. Most of these have not been tested. He's probably referring to hurdles to overcome for fair use, but unless it's gone to court, we don't know for sure, right?
They would re-upload the entire VOD to YouTube with the same thumbnail, the same title, so that they could cannibalize traffic from the original video.
Yeah, that's a pretty nasty move. When people were doing that one was pretty nasty, that trick.
Here's what Lamino had to say about this phenomenon.
I don't mind people reacting to my videos, but I do mind when they play the entirety of my video. A face cam in the corner or the occasional interruption does nothing to address that issue. My video is still being played from...
Unless you get anally savaged. Sue someone who does it. See what happens.
Beginning
Make sure you
to
get the right
end in
one.
someone else's stream or video. It's neither ethical nor necessary to feature the entirety of someone else's work. Or, you know, they could do the bare minimum and ask for permission. Something that none of the major reaction channels have ever done when they've streamed or re-uploaded my videos. But
the biggest ones are wealthoids, who probably just think, yeah, fucking sue me.
To answer your question, no, I don't want people to stream or re-upload the entirety of my videos.
Now, understandably, this made a lot of people angry, because why should these content thieves, essentially, get more views than the author of the video, which in a lot of cases was happening? I mean, people don't like injustice, and this just, we all see this, and no, it's not right. This debate culminated when XQC, one of the...
Depends on the specific examples. Some of these guys for sure. Obviously, the chair react shit is fucked.
Prime suspects called into my show to debate me, in which case I'm sad to report that I was terribly owned.
So in that regard, do you care at all about like IP or copyright, or like the fact that it's illegal?
XQC did own him just by being more likable, though. There's no comeback from the worm clip. He better include it. It's dishonest if he doesn't include the worm clip. Very important context for how this debate went.
Does that matter?
If I'm even remembering the right thing.
That it might be illegal, does that matter to you?
No.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if flat out doesn't, because...
Well, that's fair.
Watch me full screen cam, do the fucking worm, then watch your
Do
prime...
that.
Then watch
Bro,
your prime
do
content.
it for a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, that's content.
You're making it less good by adding the sound effects. You're just making it way worse.
Man, it's original content at least.
The ultimate debate, bro. He hit him with the worm. Oh, why didn't I think of that first?
No, unironically powerful. Unironically powerful. No joke.
I kid XQC, but he is not the one I'm suing. Despite my criticism, he's not a malicious infringer. But the ones I am suing,
Malicious infringer.
you'll see are much, much worse. Now, ironically, after this debate and in the wake of this large conversation, the problem seems to have only gotten worse. You have people like Hasan Piker paving the way of fair use with what's known as chair reacts, when Hasan gets up to go to the bathroom, or to eat, or to talk to his mom, or to do whatever, disappears for an extended period of time, and leaves the video playing for his chair.
Just forget ethics. Forget the moral side of intellectual property rights, whatever. Just kind of reckless in terms of what you could open yourself up to depending on what you've left playing. Right?
Mr. Chair, they call it.
IDF had warned people to leave the area
around
the
Where's the self-preservation instinct?
main airport in Sana.
Bro, Channel 4 isn't gonna do shit. Okay?
This operation will result in killing hostages in captivity. Will result in the death of 30.
As far as I'm aware, he's not going after Hasan Piker. He's just using Hasan as an example of someone who does this.
And it was in this setting that I
and as the pioneer, I guess, who influenced others, maybe?
Formulated an idea. What if I could make a long-form, irresistible piece of content that I knew that these streamers couldn't resist, they couldn't avoid the temptation of watching it the second it was published?
I don't have an issue with them.
It's not that I wanted these people to steal my video. It's that I knew they would. I knew they would watch the entire video, add little to no commentary, react to it instantly, giving them no time to form an opinion. The trap was
skill issue. Skill issue. People say this a lot. That last point in particular is silly. People say this a lot. Who's that? Not Venom Fang X. There's a guy with a similarly edgy name. He's an Australian speedrunner. What's his fucking name? He has like a 12-page manifesto on why React. Dark Viper AU. Dark Viper AU makes a similar point. How do you know you're going to have something to say until you've seen it? It's a Hasan content nuke, and they're fucking Hasan orbiters. Now, they're probably too retarded to come up with a meaningful, valuable opinion on the fly. But it's reasonable to assume in that position you're going to have strong opinions, and probably even already be aware of what's going to come up in the video. That's why there's a whole genre of, like, doctor reacts to, like, injuries in games. Police officer reacts to police in games. If you're aware and familiar with the subject of the video, despite not having preparation to comment on the exact contents, I think it's its own fun, exciting kind of content to go in blind, knowing it's a kind of topic you might have something to say about. However, I haven't checked, but I don't doubt that these people did not say much, or add much, or do much.
Set, and it worked even better than I imagined it would. We captured pretty much every large streamer reacting to it in its entirety immediately after it was published. Now the thing is,
that doesn't... Okay. You need... My understanding... I'm not a lawyer. You need, like, everything at once. Fair use isn't just like, you have to not use the whole thing. You have to this, you have to that. And, like, if you fall short on any of those, you're fucked. It's sort of... There are pillars, and it's taken as a whole. I'm not saying these people are going to be safe from it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert. But it's interesting how much he's focusing on the entirety being used. Also, personally, for content that's like sharing an opinion, and for content that is political commentary and coverage, I think people should be very, very lenient on how they allow others to use it. I think you should allow it to be used a lot. Like, my shit I do is just me saying stuff. When I do a video, it's just me fucking saying my opinion, giving a take and stuff. It's not like I make a detailed, intricate animation that's for entertainment purposes and is art. Where if someone took a video that I made that was like art, that I made an animation, put all that time into something creative, and someone jacked it and just said, "Huh, that's cool," probably be pretty mad. Probably want to take it down or something. You're stealing my shit. Because what I do is giving an opinion, I think it's quite different. Where, like, even if someone takes it in kind of a fucked way and they're not transforming it, I think, like, hands off, it's discourse. Hands off, it's discourse, sort of thing.
there were a few people that went above and beyond to commit copyright infringement. For example, Denim sits here silently with nearly 50,000 live viewers. That's 30 times her regular viewership. She's working directly with the Snark subreddit moderators to siphon views, and their intentions couldn't be clearer.
Ooh.
Here's an excerpt from a stickied post from the Snark subreddit. Hey,
okay. I presume this is what he's going to go in on then.
everyone. We've seen a lot of comments about wanting to watch the nuke without showing support for H3. Here's a list of creators who've supported our sub, either by engaging with us directly or citing our post in their critique of H3. Here they're offering these streamers as market substitutes for my work.
Okay, there we go.
This is the cardinal sin of...
Oh, is he going after, what is that name? Jewett Torney Sara. I cannot parse what that fucking mod's name is. Jew Etorn Sarah.
Copyright infringement.
My brain
the
is not
Snark
working.
subreddit has been a frequent and persistent infringer. That's how I knew when this video came out, the Snarkers were going to encourage, promote, and push streamers to commit copyright infringement. I should thank the Snarkers, actually. Because of their predictability, they acted like double agents.
My understanding is it's always infringement, and then if someone comes after you, you defend yourself with, for instance, fair use, right?
For us.
Even if you're not deliberately acting as a market substitute, whatever, taking revenue from that person deliberately, it still counts as infringement. Yes? I'm not a lawyer. I've just watched lawyer YouTube videos. But like, even when you play a video game, you are technically infringing on their intellectual property rights. It's just an industry standard that they let you do it.
incriminating their favorite streamers and serving them up on a golden platter. So, thank you, Snark. It's one thing for a subreddit to admit it's engaging in copyright infringement, but how do you get the streamers themselves to admit that they're stealing content?
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here.
It turns out they
In that clip, I don't think you have her on intent to function as a market substitute. But I don't know if that even matters.
just do it for you. You couldn't cook up a more incriminating statement if you tried. Denim's the queen of self-owning. You
being aware that people are going to watch you and not him isn't the same as saying your intention was to take the views away. I'm aware there's a lot of fucking weirdo shit that I'll watch where you're not going to watch the original and never would have, and you're literally only going to watch it because you can watch it through me. Otherwise you never would have watched it. I don't know.
Prevail again.
You need her saying something better than that to convince me that Denim's master plan was, I'm gonna own Ethan by siphoning people away. Not talking about legal stuff right now. Just if you want me to convince her, if you want to convince me that her plan was, I'm gonna do this so people who would have watched him will not and instead will watch me. I don't know.
There's one thing about copyright you should know is that you got to register it before you publish to be eligible for statutory damages and attorney's fees, which is the main biting force of a copyright infringement lawsuit. Well,
unless you actually have big damages. Unless you got like huge damages, then you don't need to worry about the statutory. But I think in this case, yes, if you want to hurt them, yeah.
Happy to tell you guys now, I, Ethan Klein, have registered Hasan Piker Content Nuke with the United States Library of Congress. Some of you guys out there sweating?
No.
Even though theoretically I could sue a lot more creators and rake in millions of dollars, but the purpose of this is not.
I'm not super familiar with Asmon. Do you think he'd be successful in all of these? Asmon says shit, right? Asmon says a bunch of shit. Like, you might think he's dumb or not agree with what he says. He doesn't?
Financial gain. People like XQC and Asmongold may have watched the entire thing, but I would never sue them just for doing that. I don't
Right, okay.
want to chill the reaction community into fear. Actually,
okay. They didn't say they were trying to take the views away, and that's the difference. It's a matter of principle and a very... Okay.
the opposite. I hope that we can all unite against this type of egregious behavior that not only...
I don't believe that you wouldn't. If these guys actually went proper hard on you, I don't think your standard here would hold.
makes us all look bad, but could destroy the commentary community as we know it.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime.
The state of reaction content on Twitch is so broken, these creators feel comfortable looking right into a camera and saying outright, hey.
I would not be surprised if this retard says something much worse than Denim's did.
I'm stealing this guy's content. Pay me instead of him. This is not a healthy environment. And with people like Hasan reacting to entire TV shows on stream, my fear is that Sony or Disney comes along, sues everybody, and sets a devastating precedent that could endanger our entire field. Now, before I tell you...
This is concern trolling. That part's bullshit. Don't fucking... No, you are not trying to save the platform with a wake-up call.
I'm suing are, I just want to make it clear that they all met this very specific high bar of criteria that I set forth earlier. These people were not targeted based on their gender, their identity, their political beliefs. All three are on this list. In fact, they're the only three, as far as I could tell, that reacted to the full video. Drum roll, please. Who's sweating at home, guys? Casey Tron.
And are we gonna have what I need now? Like, if we accept this is like, oh, that's based to do, then I want to see the direct connection between them and that, at least, as well.
The queen of...
Not suggesting he doesn't have it, I don't know, but I want to see that.
For ripping farts and bong loads.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. I know. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you... Look! You think I made this?
Frogan, who, bless her soul, she's still rising.
Can I walk away and use the bathroom? Do I have permission? Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
One.
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing a Yemeni teenager who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happened?
And then...
That's lame as fuck. Just... Look. My deepest issue with this is that's not even like... If you're there to hang with the streamer and watch something and get their opinion and argue with this... I don't know, do these guys argue with their audience sometimes? Or do they just... Like, if you're there to, like, judge something with a streamer, you want the streamer to be there for it. Just have, like, a fucking... this and put on some royalty-free shit. And then come back and continue, because they're there to have you with that. To have... To be with you and chat with you and comment on the thing, right?
The queen.
Like, it's just fucking shit. It's just shit to do.
Queen of self-owning. And my god, is she the queen of that?
It's very obvious from the way that guy's talking, he's a Sneeko fan.
Oh my god, bro, I love you. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
None of the hostages that have been released so far have said that they have been raped. The hostages have public statements. You can go look at them.
The sexual assault I experienced.
Wait, is this her commentary on the content nuke?
Should never happen to any human being.
This Yemeni kid is just a Yemeni kid with a gun and is not...
Frogan doesn't have a chat to interact with? She's got more than me, I presume.
Not a Houthi.
Twitch Rising Star two times in a row.
And there is no proof of him being a Houthi.
Are you a soldier? Yes. That seems pretty definitive.
He never said Hassan...
Wait, if she didn't say anything substantial, why are you having to argue with her reaction? Don't show this! Didn't say anything of substance, by the way. There's enough there for me to argue with it.
Nasrallah was a good guy.
I can't believe I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean, listen.
Now for the fun part. Let's take a look at the complaints.
Show her, like, not doing anything. Show her, like, letting it run and, like, fast forward or some shit. Show, like, long periods of
And
not
let's
saying
start
anything.
with my favorite of the three. The very own, the prestigious, the highly acclaimed, the highly analytical Casey Tron.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're going to watch it.
Well, that's a really dumb thing to say, don't you?
Maybe. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if that works for the legal side of things. For the purely just arguing it on the internet, she's laid out, yes, that they'll watch her instead of Ethan, but it also implies they had no intention of ever watching it directly on his. It's the, like, it's the fucking piracy argument, right? It's the piracy defense. Well, it literally is the piracy defense. I'm not taking from him because people don't want to watch it from him anyway.
You think, why are you so comfortable?
However, the counter to that is that she did it immediately. Right? The counter to that is, if she didn't do it immediately, they may well have just, you know, cracked and gone to watch it directly from him because they didn't want to wait. Right? I think, I believe another issue with all of these people is that they watched it immediately, so...
We've given each complaint a clever little title, and here's Casey Tron's. She smoked more than she spoke. Casey Tron smokes 42 times during her reaction. And just as a silly thought experiment, we thought, wouldn't it be funny?
Hey, cool it with the misogyny. Get it? Silly thought whatever.
If she spent more time smoking than she did talking, and thinking there was no way that that could be true. Well, we tallied them up, and lo and behold, there's 15 minutes 40 seconds of commentary versus 18 minutes and 55 seconds of smoking. She spent 3 minutes and 15 seconds longer smoking than she did talking in her quote-unquote reaction. And whatever talking she did was just to express how confused she was, presumably from smoking 42 times.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
The complaint continues. Indeed, Casey Tron is often too obliterated to comment.
Has anyone ever used like the defense that I was doing art? Has anyone with a fair use defense against copyright infringement said I've transformed it into something else by artistic means? I've made it into some fucking unwatchable bullshit by just smoking over it.
On the nuke, and instead stares blankly at her computer screen. In a span of 2 hours and 7 minutes, Casey Tron smokes marijuana, frequently in highly concentrated forms through vaporizers, on 42 separate occasions. At one point, Casey Tron is so wasted that she states, quote, "What is happening? I'm trying to follow, but I've lost the plot." To give you an idea.
Is he gonna... Ooh. So, this, to me, is pointing at can of worms territory. Is this going for the standard of commentary has to be high enough? It's kind of implicit in like the pillars of fair use and why it exists that it should be high quality, kind of, but it's like the defense is there for the stuff that's good. I'm not sure your shit has to be good to overcome all the hurdles, right? It's like free speech is there to defend, you know, valuable speech, political speech. That doesn't mean it has to be valuable to be defended, because then you get into what's valuable, what isn't, blah, 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 blah.
The majority of her commentary comes down to this.
Kyle R says, bring up her intoxication could be part of an argument that she wasn't capable of making substantive commentary. It could be. I presume that's exactly why he's doing it, in fact. Or why his lawyer is doing it. But I think what's more important is how she actually covered the video. Right? Than whether or not she smoked. Fucking look at musicians off their fucking face doing the best shit they've ever done. The intoxication isn't proof that she wasn't capable, and it doesn't matter anyway in those terms, because if she didn't, she didn't, whether she was high or not.
I don't understand this bit that he's doing.
He's read more books than you could ever imagine.
CPM's coming out of Qatar.
What the hell
you
is
kids
going
love anime,
on?
right?
He's read more
Is she censored for like YouTube drug use problems?
books than you could ever imagine.
What is happening? I'm trying to follow. I've lost the plot.
I don't know. Seems incredibly distracting to me. I'll take a peep at the complaints. I'll take a peep at the complaints after this.
They do musicals. They're very musical people. Are you being serious? Dog, what do you... Look!
If she was high, how is her commentary any good? It can be a factor in what she's saying being fucking worthless in this instance. But being high doesn't inherently mean what you say has to be worthless. Do you get what I'm saying?
You think I made this? This isn't a music video, Hassan.
And as dumb as all of that is, this is the part that really got her sued.
A lot of people have been wanting to watch this without necessarily supporting Ethan Klein. So we're gonna watch.
I guess what he's got her on is she's aware that she's facilitating that.
Watch it. What the fuck is going on here?
Whereas, if no one was reacting, they wouldn't have the option and would have to watch him. However, everyone else who watched it in their entirety is also facilitating that, and is probably aware of that. They just haven't acknowledged that they're aware of that.
Stating outright that her intention of doing this is so that people who don't want to support me can watch it through her is why copyright infringement laws exist. You could not and
Almost. Like there's a little bit more precision to it than that.
should not do that, especially if your commentary consists of...
If that's what you're going for, you should be hitting everyone who did it. Because everyone is knowingly doing that. Everyone who makes React content knows that there are people who don't want to watch the original, they want to watch it through their favorite guy or whatever. Or a few of their favorite guys, or the ones they watch stuff via the reactions of. Everyone knows they're doing that. Everyone knows it's happening. The defense is more like, they weren't going to watch you anyway, bro. She points out that the people she's serving are the people who don't want to support him. Presumably, these are people who would avoid watching him whether she was the one reacting or not.
Have you taken bomb?
Which makes it a little bit different to what's really bad when you're trying to siphon people off who would watch the original otherwise.
Long loads. At least try to engage with the content. Whoa, what was that? Oh, sorry. That was a flying star. It almost got me. You know her and you love her, guys. Frogan. Reaction by exiting. Here she is getting up to leave the video running as she steps out of the room. Is that transformative? Okay. I guess the judge will decide. She said, quote, "It's time to watch the new movie ethically. Hell yeah." Huh. Very smart.
Thank you, Andrew Buckland. Hang on. This one is probably the best quote so far. Because it's her not just saying, I'm going to take advantage of people who would never watch Ethan's stuff directly. I.e., I'm not taking because these people wouldn't have watched it anyway because they think it would be wrong to support him. They're already not going to watch and I'm just taking advantage. This is her making a statement about it being ethical or not, which could encourage people who may have watched it to decide not to watch it and watch her instead on the basis of her ethical judgment. Okay.
It's time to watch the...
It's not amazing, but this is the best one, I think.
New nuke ethically. Hell yeah. Huh. Very smart to say on camera, by the way. She said, quote, "Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me." Well, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you were able to enjoy that day. Her commentary is so non-existent that even her own fans begin to call her out.
I don't have anything to say, dude, because he's cycling the same fucking points over and over again. What more commentary do you need on him repeating the same fucking points?
Color commentary, or skip forward.
For the whole first hour and 1 minute and 32 seconds. It's been the same shit over and over again.
Tell jokes. Riff on it.
This video could have been condensed into 20 fucking minutes. Like, what commentary do you want me to add by, like, oh, this guy's a fucking idiot, he's mentally ill, and he's having a mental breakdown and uploaded it to fucking YouTube?
Yeah, why not? I think ridicule can be transformative. And you'll be like, well, it doesn't turn it into something elevated. Yeah, but the ridicule would turn it into something that someone who would have watched the original wouldn't want to watch. Just be like, I think everyone can agree, if Frogan makes more noise, the more noise Frogan makes, the less people would want to watch this over the original without her commentary, so.
Are you going to make at least one good point? What do you want me to make a point on?
Oh, I forgot. She also said, "Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing." You may use the bathroom, Frogan.
Is she scared? I think with these guys, They were a bit neutered from being able to say too much in case Hassan didn't like it. Right? Even if they were defending him, they have to
Although I don't advise it.
Can I use the bathroom, please? I'll leave it playing.
This into your stomach. And let me state the obvious. Jew and
Apparently thinks Twitch is liable for me interviewing
Ethan, why you gotta cut it so there's you saying, let me state the obvious. Jew?
a Yemeni teenager.
I disavow this statement. This statement he created by cutting his own words.
Who's only known genocide his entire life.
What happens?
Well, you just pause it. That's it. You just pause the video, right? Like you get up and you go to the bathroom. You just pause it.
Yeah, and not just for copyright infringement purposes. Not just for if they come after you, you want to be able to defend yourself. It's just fucking shit. You're watching it to talk about it. People want to hear what you have to say, or like argue with you about it, or talk with you about it, have back and forths. Discuss what's being said, judge the takes, judge the evidence, judge this, judge that. It's just shit content if you walk away.
They should be watching for you. But if you get up to go to the bathroom and they keep watching my video, they're clearly not watching for you, right? As lazy and pathetic as her reaction is, this is not why she's getting sued. This is.
Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate everyone's support. And thank you for watching it with me. First time viewer, time to watch the nuke ethically? Hell yeah. I found my way from Reddit. Hi guys, welcome Reddit people. Reddit people, Reddit people. I came from the HV Snark Reddit. Ethan is so pathetic while Hassan is in Japan. I'm bothered having a great time. Exactly. We're gonna watch it live, yes. He doesn't want people to know when it's dropping because we're all watching through other streamers. And I suggest you all watch it through other people as well.
It's the stated.
Oh. On that one, you've got her providing an alternative place to watch it and encouraging people directly not to. Is that illegal? I don't know if that helps in terms of the court case. In terms of social judgment, general common sense, everyday shit. That's a bit low.
Malicious intent to steal. They talk about watching ethics.
Malicious intent to steal. Fucking come on. Be fucking real. Is the new meta for washed up political commentary channels to just have stupid public slap fights over who gets the brain cell? Always has been. Thank you for the $10.
But I learned not to steal when I was 5. Up next is Denims. And honestly, just take a look at this, guys. It's a nightmare on Denim Street. Not only did she
Fuck off. That's from a document. This better not be... This better not actually be the court document. That's like got formatting like it's on the page of a PDF or something. No.
React, but she was kind of...
I'm opening the Denims one right now. Fuck off. What the? I'm not a lawyer. But what the fuck? This doesn't seem right.
Enough to write her name right at the top just so that we knew that she was stealing my content and it was her room and nobody else's. Judge, did you know that we're on Denim Street right now? Here's some quotes from Denims. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the nuke views. Yeah, I'm going to stream it. Since he's confirmed it's coming out today, I'm going to stream it.
That's her acknowledging someone saying they're not going to watch it from him. Or they don't want to watch it from him. She knows she's taking advantage of it. This isn't a statement of intent to manufacture that situation. Contrast that with Frogan going, you should do this, you should do this. That's her acknowledging that sentiment's out there and that she's taking advantage of it. Which all React content is.
That is very explicit. Denim said, quote, well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like my content. Your content? The Queen of Self...
Whether she said that or not, the situation she acknowledged would have been happening. That situation she acknowledges would have been occurring whether she acknowledged it or not. For me to be like, yeah, fuck you, it would have to be like, you should watch me instead of that. You should do this. It's wrong to watch that. Blah, 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 blah. Which Frogan, you have her on that. But like...
included a countdown timer, so we could tell exactly how long she was away. After being gone for a few minutes, she returned.
Like, the existence of the React meta, regardless of intention to function as a market replacement, does create the expectation that something comes out and you don't want to watch it directly, you know there's a guy you might like more to watch it alongside. That's like it's a systemic issue. And like drawing that line is a bit silly. And I think that line is not drawn out of principle, but so that he doesn't cut people that would so that he doesn't also jab people that would turn public opinion against him. I think it's like a post hoc rationalization of his targeting, rather than the real exact reason.
And then sit silently for another couple of minutes eating.
His heart's not in this bar placement, is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna go pee, and hopefully, when I'm back, they're done with this.
You do look better.
Mr. 305. I see it.
Dude, you should do this.
I have an alternate.
We're relying on you to stay live so we don't give more views on the nuke. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. Since he confirmed it's coming out today, we're gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else.
That's the best quote he has from her so far. That's the best one he has from her so far in terms of convincing people that he's being stolen from with intent.
If you enjoyed not giving any views to that,
to, you know, to push more people to do it. Because like I said, and I keep repeating myself, React content takes advantage of the known existence of people who don't want to watch the original and want to watch it through you. Here, she takes a step further into encouragement of people to do that, which could feasibly convince people to do that when they may have otherwise watched the original, versus taking advantage of the people who already weren't going to watch the original. You get what I'm saying?
that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like.
The chair was prior to the video coming out, right? Am I crazy? I guess she did it to... Hang
when
on.
I'm back, they're done with this.
Wait, what is being captured here? Her watching an older...
You do look better.
Mr. 305. I see it.
Dude, you should do this.
I have an alternate.
We're relying on you to stay live so we don't give more views on the...
Is that her just playing random H3 stuff? I mean, it's still copyrighted material. It's original. It's an original work in a fixed format, right? But it's not the one he registered copyright on, so it wouldn't. It's not relevant to what he's going after them for, to try and get statutory damages, I guess.
Nuke, yeah, I'm gonna stream it since he confirmed it's coming out today. We're
Stop! Wait, whoa. See if he says copyrighted the video. He didn't copyright this. You own the copyright of shit you make. Yes. This is not the one he's going to be able... This is not one he's able to seek statutory damages regarding, because it's not registered. Yes.
gonna stream it. If you want to watch it with someone else who's already watching it, you know, come enjoy the watch party somewhere else. If you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. Because I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself.
Let me also commercialize it by asking you to reward me financially for stealing his content. That is like chef kiss. By the way, Denims had a very...
Not a lawyer. I have a feeling that might be legalese relevant, but I don't know.
Very successful stream. She had 43,000 people watching her live. Take a look at the time.
Real G's understand that it's just going... She would have asked for the primes at the end, no matter what she was fucking doing in the stream, I'm sure. She's just referencing that, what particularly happened that day, and then give me the primes.
title of her Twitch stream. Ethan Klein Hassan Content Nuke Watch Party. A watch party?
But I wonder if a lawyer can spin that into she solicited money for piracy. You get what I'm saying? Even though that's not exactly.
I don't think that's fair use. Now, Denim's, of course, always delivering the goods. She went on this dude's podcast to debate fair use. And would you be surprised if I told you she said a lot of incriminating things in that podcast?
I think I know what podcast this is. This dude. Say his name. Do I have the right thing? Would I be correct to say his name? Anon, thanks for the 10. If Ethan's wild flailing in court with most of this succeeds, it'll have a mass chill effect on slop react content. Twitch YouTubers making millions, being human parrots, will have to effort again. I understand that perspective. If this shit works, I will probably change what I'm doing significantly. If this shit works, let me put it this way. If this works with no, if this changes the culture of the platform, such that people are no longer afraid to hit people, so long as they can come up with a justification that's only as strong as this, it ain't worth it. Right? Because it's not just going to be this kind of justification that works. Right now, someone sues you for copyright infringement when you're a React streamer. There's this mass fucking boo hiss. If you crack through with one reason, people might be empowered to push through with another reason. It's not just the Ethan Kleins of YouTube. Let's say some fucking wokoid gets pissed. Their guys got fucking hit. We're gonna hit some fucking Nazi. We're gonna fucking hit him. And you know what? I wouldn't normally do this, but it's a racist using my content to further this shit of blah blah blah. You're okay though because you added far too much to get accused. It doesn't fucking matter if I win or not. If I get sued, that's a really big problem. Right? Right now, what's stopping people from doing it, I feel primarily, is fear of the negative PR hits.
The queen of self-own never disappoints.
I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like I think filler content, like you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer, and I try to do it only when I do it with.
Anyone could just like fucking sue you, right? A big part of why they don't when they're a content creator is image. I think that's protecting a lot of people. People are talking about precedent or whatever. I'm not too scared about that. The scary thing is, even if they're wrong, if people take this as a signal, hey, I can do this. I can fucking go after someone. And as long as I sell it right, won't burn me back. Once you're hit, you're in fucking trouble.
Like Vox
to begin with.
Videos or Vice videos and stuff like that, because at least I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like a whole.
And like, if you're ripping like a work of art, a story, like if you're ripping someone's animation or something, and yeah, get fucked for that. In the domain of commentary on current events, public figures, blah 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 blah, I think that shit should be as loose as possible in that corner. Yeah, Fabry, basically, if this is like a hit with no negative repercussions for Ethan, such that it wouldn't discourage someone else from trying similar on, Because even if you think this is perfectly reasonable and you think it's limited in scope to a reasonable degree, people are fucking stupid. People are really fucking stupid. People with a lot of money are really fucking stupid, and they might take this as a signal, oh, I'm gonna go fucking rape this guy who watched my video now. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not scared anymore. This might not hurt me. Let's try it. Let's fuck this guy up. So, like, if this works, yeah, cool off a little bit. Cool off a little bit until something like that happens. Because don't forget, people are probably going to want fucking blood. People are going to want revenge for this if this goes through, and especially if he wins. It's going to be like a little bit more dangerous for a while, at least afterwards. And it's probably little guys that revenge will be wrought upon. So just, like, chill for a while. Wait for someone else to get raped, and then things to equalize. That's my theory craft imagination of what might happen, though. Who knows how it'll go.
Team and stuff, and most of those videos have like 5 million views. I only get like 500 viewers. Like I'm taking maybe 50 views from the video. It's a lot harder to feel like, I guess, bad about that. Whereas like I would feel very bad about doing that to like a single content creator. The majority of people say that they literally wouldn't watch Hell's Kitchen unless I was streaming it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm reacting hard enough.
That's the best you have, Denims. The piracy argument. The classic piracy argument. I'm not stealing views, they weren't going to watch you. That's your best thing in the court of public opinion, I think.
You know, I'm sure if you...
Legally, I presume it doesn't fucking matter too much. Because he's going for statutory damages. He registered it so he could go after statutory damages. As opposed to actual damages. Sorry, statutory... Is it called statutory damages? Whatever. The payout that is just based on you having infringed and is like sort of preset and is in the statute versus calculated on actual damages. The whole they wouldn't have watched him anyway doesn't help you there.
Click on a random part in the video, I might not be saying anything, sure, whatever, and I might walk away from the screen, but it's about like the communal thing. It's why like fucking Toast started streaming Death Note. It's not about the actual show at a certain point. It's the same reason you watch shows with your friends. You want to watch it with other people. A lot of people go to watch streamers on Twitch for their react content almost as a curator. So they don't actually want to go through YouTube themselves and watch a bunch of videos, and they probably never will go through YouTube and click a bunch of videos.
There's an argument here, but she's too fucking stupid to make it. This is horrendous.
They like going to Twitch because they like to have it as like, this streamer is curating fun content that I want to watch.
Like, I'm sure
From the people that I've talked to, the people who watch Twitch content are specifically there to watch it so they don't have to scroll through YouTube and find a video they like. If someone watches content, I already said this, if someone watches content on someone else's stream, there is a very low likelihood that they're going to go watch it separately.
He's doing the not fair use buzzer, but I forget the start of this. Is she arguing fair use? Sounds like she's arguing harm. She's just arguing over the harm caused by it.
And give you like the view or the like, or the people who are watching content on Twitch, curated Twitch content on Twitch, aren't necessarily people that would be watching content on YouTube.
That, my friend, is called theft. And you're a thief. And now I'm suing you. This is just a testimony.
Oh, fuck, it's over.
To how brazen and how safe they've, gotten. That she thinks she can go out in public, on video, and say shit like, I'm stealing this content because I want to. I'm coping even though I know it's stealing. When people watch it with me, they're definitely not going to go watch the original. Like, you are way...
That makes it sound a little bit different. They definitely wouldn't have watched the original. The people who are watching it definitely wouldn't have, I thought was what she was saying. She wasn't going, I'm so fucking evil, I do this because then they won't watch it. I think her point was, it's not of you going to me instead of them. It's of you going to me that was never going to go to them.
Too comfortable committing crimes out in the open.
Which is a real thing that happens all the time. And it's a systemic issue. And if you want that to stop, you have to hit everyone and end live commentary. If you have to destroy the system to get rid of that. She's describing something, not making that happen.
Well, there you have it. 3 separate lawsuits for 3 separate geniuses. Now, I want to make it clear again, and I hope it's been obvious about why I'm suing these 3 people and not others. These people not only violated all of the principles of fair use, they also did it maliciously. And that's the part that really got me. I think if you're a reactor on Twitch, for the most...
Come on. Come on. Maybe that's the cherry on top, but Ethan, don't pretend there isn't more. Don't pretend there isn't more.
Most part, if you make a good faith effort to comment, and if you make a good faith effort to promote the author, to link to them, to try to drive traffic to the original video, I think...
What if my commentary is extremely negative and judgmental of you, even as a human being? What if it's really nasty, derisive, judgmental commentary? Such that people probably, even if I show them the link or whatever, would never want to look at you ever. Would that also? This is why it's like, I
think you're probably pretty much doing the right thing, and that's fine. And I would never sue someone for that. Take it to these 3 absolute morons to state their intention to steal my property on video. You know, and to all the detractors...
Yeah, dude, still credit them and whatever, blah, 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 blah. But, when we start using the term good faith, we get, like, my red flags fly up into my fucking eyes.
Who are saying that I'm targeting women, that I'm a hypocrite for suing for copyright infringement. I just have this to say.
Ardnet, I understand that what's being presented is a matter of credit, a matter of citation. But imagine the scenario where it is just absolutely fucking brutal commentary throughout. And the person is like, there's this channel, go there. I think the temptation to be like, this is a fucking harassment campaign would be there a bit, maybe.
I don't care. What I do hope, though, is that you'll support their crowdfunding efforts to defend themselves. Because let's face it, I want to make sure there's money left over for me when I win my lawsuits.
Aha.
Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been a great time. I'll see you around.
Hacha. Should probably acknowledge that you, like, fucking hate these bitches as well, to be fair. Do I live in the UK or did I move to the USA? Your gut is telling me I moved to America. I live in the UK. I'm an American living in the UK. I'm not a lawyer. I have no idea what his chances are, really. I have no idea what his chances are. My opinion on the kind of content that the content nuke is, people online giving opinions, talking about other people, talking about their peers, that sort of stuff. The fucking threshold for going after them for how they've dealt with commenting on it should be, like, insanely high, even more than this. Because I think there's great public interest in absolute minimal restriction on how content that is expressing primarily just a political opinion or opinion on a public figure is utilized. Like, this kind of content in particular should be more difficult to go after infringement on than, say, like, if someone makes a movie or whatever. Someone uploads a little home movie, they made a little claymation movie, and someone watched it and was just like, yep, whatever, didn't say much. Maybe fuck them. Yeah, they've stolen your creation. If you're putting discourse out there to be engaged with, to convince other people of things, and it is primarily just you putting forth your thoughts, I think it's fucking... Like, it would take a lot to have me thinking it's right to shut someone down for yoinking one of my videos. It would take a fucking lot. I'd err on the side of allowing shit, even if it like is a blatant IP violation, just on the basis of what the content is, because I think it's important to have as little obstruction of engagement with this kind of content as possible and utilizing it. Very important to totally avoid any sort of chilling effect around this kind of content. Yeah. A camera gremlin? I'm gonna look at the doc. Did someone mention the 9 Inch Nails camera gremlin? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll look at the documents in a sec. Let me mute this. Okay. That's why I'm not a judge. The nature of the material is a factor in fair use, is it not? And the purpose of doing it. For instance, the most common one is if it's for educational purposes. That may be part. I think. Now this gets into weasel wordy. I'm not a lawyer. My terminology is like fucked or whatever. But meaningful political commentary, which these girls didn't necessarily engage in. Okay, but I think that should be protected as fucking hard as possible. Hold on. Let me see. I want to see if we can catch a glimpse of the camera gremlin. This is where I was on Tuesday night. No, he wasn't there in the intro. Is that the camera gremlin? Look for the camera gremlin. There he is! It's the camera gremlin! He was going around the stage all night like he'd crawl on the floor, zoom around, point it. I was watching him more than I was watching the fucking bands. Oh. Anyway. Right. The Denims document. The Nightmare on Demon Street. Demons? Holy fuck, Denims. We're relying on you to stay live so we don't have to give the new views. The quotes he showed. Well, guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, give me a follow, subscribe, throw a prime if you like. These are super weak quotes. He had a better quote from her where she was encouraging people to do that. I've said it a million times now. Acknowledging the existence of this segment of audience is not the same as like encouraging it, which I think would be more of a problem, because you're acknowledging a segment of the audience that would not have watched the original. Not sure it matters legally. I don't know. But in terms of general discussion, if you're going to talk about stealing views, it's the classic piracy thing. Fuck. Can I slide this to the side? Let's go. Bam. Vum. Vum. Alright. What do we have here? Introduction. The lawsuit is about ending the practice of lazy reaction videos that copy entire copyrighted works and purposely siphon views and revenue away from the original. Right. If this ends up somehow being a precedent-setting case or whatever, that first line is going to rape everyone he's not going after. Just saying. Just saying. By the way, a lot of people have been asking, why didn't he go after Hassan? There are two reasons. One of the reasons is he asked Hassan to watch it. But Ethan Klein actually considers Hassan's react to the content nuke to have been fair use. He thinks he'd lose if he tried to go after him. In case you didn't know. 7 years ago, the owners of plaintiff Ted Entertainment, oh, that's their company's name? Ethan and Ela Klein established the legal standard for fair use reaction videos in Hosseinzadeh versus Hosseinzadeh. I don't know. Fuck. We're stuck. I can't get past this word. Oh. There's Klein as a genre. Reaction videos vary widely in terms of purpose, structure, and the extent to which they rely on potentially copyrighted material. Reaction videos, like the Klein video, that intersperse short segments of another's work with criticism and commentary, constitute fair use. That doesn't necessarily mean that the inclusion of a segment that could be considered not to be short would make it fall foul on all pillars, but whatever. In contrast, reaction videos that are more akin to a group viewing session do not. Yeah, watch party. Is the term watch party and them saying watch party going to come up a butt? Shh, that'd be interesting. This case involves a group viewing session hosted by defendant Alexandra Marwa Saber, formerly known as Marwa Talat Abdelmanem, professionally known as, I presume, Denims. Denim specifically intended her group's viewing session to siphon views and revenue away from TEI's copyrighted works. You have, like, one quote that does that. I think one of the quotes actually establishes that. Not the two you've chosen at the start, though. From TEI's copyrighted works, Content Nuke Hassan Piker and The H3 Show Countdown to Doomsday. Collectively, the works. Denim timed her group viewing session to coincide with the exact moment TEI released the works. Her timing was intended to capitalize on the intense public interest in the works, and siphon the maximum amount of views and revenue away from the works to herself by showing the works in their entirety. This is what I was saying they might do. They might use. Because even someone who would be potentially resistant to watching it from Ethan, if her shit happened later, they might crack and watch it. In that case, it's kind of a stolen view. In that case, right? The moderators of the H3 Snark subreddit, the H3 Snark mods, heavily promoted Denim's group viewing sessions as an alternative to the original works on the H3 Snark subreddit. Okay. And what's her connection to them? I'm not familiar. As a direct result, Denim's group viewing sessions of the works peaked at approximately 45,800 concurrent views, when her previous stream only achieved approximately 3,300. Denim's greatly profited from her group viewing session of the works through advertising revenue, donations, and paid subscriptions. This bit bites a lot of people. Unless it's like established that she has a direct connection, and they worked together to do this specifically. This will hit like every reactoid. Anyone talking about a hot topic could be burned by this, real bad. For the third time, Sargon actually edited the video and changed the meaning from its original. Are you talking to me? I presume you're talking to someone else. Like most lazy reaction videos, Denims peppers her group viewing session of TEI's work with primarily brief and sporadic observations, which can be categorized as follows. Most frequently, Denims will watch along unadulterated portions of the works and briefly pause to give short, surface-level... We're getting into quality grounds now, and often repetitive observations that provide little to no new information, new aesthetics, new insights, or understandings on the original works. There's a critical element to fair use, right? Other times, Denim's commentary has little to no... Oh, there we go! Immediately afterwards, that's the next point. Other times, Denim's commentary has little to no critical bearing on the style or substance of the works. Rather, she goes off on tangents regarding unrelated subjects or shadow boxes demonstrably false misrepresentations of the contents of the works. That second bit is concerning. Right. The first bit, is kind of irrelevant that she did that.
Whoops, I slept in late.
What matters is the lack of engagement with the work itself and relevance to the work itself, right? I don't think that first part matters. The second part is of concern, because if we go, yeah, someone commenting on my my opinion, my take, misrepresented me, therefore their commentary isn't of substance, and this is a violation that cannot be defended with fair use, is fucking spooky as hell, if this sets any kind of precedence. At least spooky to me as a non-lawyer. Maybe it isn't spooky. Whatever. That, I would suggest, regardless of the legal, the accuracy of my legal concerns, I think many will take it to be spooky, and as such, if any sort of precedence is set, it will have a chilling effect. Through fear that someone will go after you on the back of feeling misrepresented, and therefore try to go after you on the basis of copyright infringement for your commentary not being substantive because they feel they were misrepresented. At which point you're already harmed. Because you've been fucking sued. On the rare occasions when Denims does provide sporadic... When he says false misrepresentations of the content of the works... Like what? I've seen him disagreeing with her and what she was saying over it, especially regarding rapes. But on the rare occasion when Denims does provide sporadic and brief commentary on the style or substance of the works, she spreads misinformation that is refuted moments later by the works themselves, or by the most cursory level of research. Again, that's like a spooky standard for it counting as fair use or not. That's a fucking spooky standard for it counting as fair use or not. Like, let's say some fucking total retard. Heavily, don't say this is your stream. Fuck you, I already know it's coming. Some total retard provides a ton of commentary, says a ton of stuff. That would make someone who believed it view the works in a new light. Because they're a retard and wrong, the fair use defense regarding infringement shouldn't work. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about when I say takes political commentary hands off as much as possible. Should be like fucking... Ooh. On the rarer occasions where she actually shows the factual basis for claim, her statements are refuted by the cited source itself. Such misinformation fails to serve copyright's goal of enriching public knowledge. This is a bit fucky. As with free speech, the idea is to protect valuable speech. But it doesn't just protect the speech that is deemed valuable, right? Retarded fucking speech gets protected on the basis to not do so. On the basis that to not do so would endanger valuable speech. You can't be going. It should fail. Its defense on the back of fair use should fail because this bitch is stupid and she's not enriching public knowledge. That being the reason for the law doesn't mean every fucking instance has to perfectly serve that goal. It's just why it's there. This is like the whole, well, why do we have the Second Amendment? Well, sorry, you can only have a gun if you're in a well-regulated militia. That's what it's for. So, only have a gun if you're in a well-regulated militia, sorry. It's kinda similar to that shit. To the contrary, such misinformation diminishes it. Finally, Denims will even do an empty chair reaction as shown above, where she goes off camera for an extended period of time while letting the video play to keep her audience entertained. Did that occur just with the stream, or just with the video? Did they file copyright on the VOD as well, or what? The poverty of Denim's commentary, coupled with her highly commercial use of the works that she specifically intended to serve as substitute for the originals, failed to justify copying TEI's works in their entirety or nearly in their entirety. Rather, Denim's group viewing session is a quintessential example of copyright infringement. Quintessential? I.e., the unauthorized exploitation of TEI's works to get attention and avoid the drudgery in working up something fresh. I don't know if it's a quintessential example, okay? The lawsuit is to hold Denims accountable for infringement and the H3, like a fucking straight re-upload would be, come on. Mods accountable for materially contributing to infringement. Alright. This action, jurisdiction of venue, this, there. Steve Carell moment. This action arises under the Copyright Act, blah, blah, blah. This court has federal question jurisdiction under blah, blah, blah. Venue in this jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. Listing the parties. The mods are those 1 through 10. What the fuck? 10 mods. 10 mods. Little bits of information about them. Okay. Alright. Factual allegations. Background of TEI. TEI was founded in 2016 by Ethan and Hila. The client rose to prominence on YouTube with 2 channels, H3 Productions and Ethan and Hila. The clients created highly stylized reaction videos to other YouTube videos. The clients, were they highly stylized? I don't know. Interspersed relatively short segments of the original video with long Oh! Jump to next page. Hang on. Oh, that's a... Sorry, I didn't even notice that there was a smaller font. The footnote fucked me up. With long segments of Klein's commentary. After TEI was established, the Kleins assigned both channels to TEI. In 2016, the Kleins were sued for copyright infringement, defamation, and misrepresentation. Blah, 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 blah. The copyright claim concerned a reaction video uploaded to the Ethan and Hila YouTube channel. The video entitled The Big, the Bold, the Beautiful was a critical and humorous reaction to Matt Horse's video. As the court explained, it opens with commentary and discussion, blah, blah, blah. We've all seen this. We've all seen this. My eyes don't work good, okay? To me, that looked like the same size text. And I couldn't see the little 2 in the superscript. On August 23rd, 2017, the court granted summary judgment for the Kleins on all of Matt Horse's claims. For the copyright infringement claim, the court found that Klein video made a fair use of the Horse video. In 2017, TEI established the HD podcast channel. On the new channel, blah, 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 blah. Alright. To ensure any of the unlicensed copyrighted content qualified as fair use, TEI formulated and refined best practices based on the principles from Hosseinzadeh, which included, whenever feasible, pre-screening the original work and outlining the criticism and commentary before. I watched this morning a ton of their clips, where they'd be live and they'd be like, can we watch this? Can I look at this? Oh, upload it to the channel and see if it gets copyright dinged. And then if it doesn't get copyright dinged, we can watch it on the show. They do a lot of that. I don't think that's what's being described here, but whatever. Broadcast, ensuring the commentary was directly related to the style and or substance of the original work. Only broadcasting the portion of the original work that will be subject to critique. Pausing the original work frequently to provide critique. And 5, ensuring the duration of the commentary was substantially longer than the portion of the original work showed immediately before the commentary. General good practices for YouTubers, I would suggest. Well, they're using it as an example to contrast her behavior with, right? Mm-hmm. Denims, the alt-left... Is this normal? I'm not a lawyer and I don't read many legal documents. At least not lawsuit, not legal complaints. I read writing by lawyers. I recommend Eugene Volokh. This shit... Is this normal? Is this normal to write like this? This is a fucking Breitbart headline. What the fuck? Denim's, the alt-left's answer to Kellyanne Conway. Denim's LARPs, i.e. live-action roleplays, as a revolutionary from the comfort of her bedroom in California. Did Milo Yiannopoulos write this? By which I mean Margaret... Did Margaret McLennan write this? She is a prolific purveyor of misinformation. You're really gonna drop like fucking secondary school alliteration in here? And speaks with great confidence on topics where her knowledge leaves much to be desired. Your Honor, this woman is retarded. Denim's repeatedly inserts herself into public controversies by employing poor judgment, knee-jerk contrarianism, and a consistent impulse to defend the indefensible, including copyright infringement, terrorism, and extremism. Is this for real? Denim's is one of the most loyal and ardent defenders of Hassan Piker. Is this normal? I don't read fucking lawsuit filings or anything. The most prominent alt-left streamer on Twitch. Much like Scientologists engage in fair game, Denim's ruthlessly attacks with reckless abandon anyone who disagrees with her or Hassan. She parrots Hassan's style, rhetoric, and content strategy, i.e. regularly streaming React content with minimal transformation or commentary. Right, this is meant for the court of public opinion. This is meant to be quoted in the fucking news, bro. What? As such, she has assumed a leading role in role in Hassan's waiting room. Oh, a collective of streamers who cultishly follow Hassan and parasitically leech off of his audience by streaming before and after. This is like a thing you say to her. Directly. On November 17th, 2023, that was my birthday. What is... On November 17th, 2023, Denim's read Osama bin Laden's letter to America in its entirety on stream. She frequently expressed agreement and support for the letter, such as... Steal the YouTube videos of the Jewish pig! Like, how is this gonna... I don't understand. Maybe it will all become clear, but like, what did he say that is relevant to... What happens that's relevant to this? She frequently expressed agreement and support for the letter, such as... America deserved 9/11. I can't disavow facts, man. I can't disavow reality. That's not how that works, bro. Denim's reading from the letter. Why do they attack us in New York and Washington? I have Sharon as a man of peace in the eyes of Bush. Then we are also men of peace. America does not understand the language of manners and principles, so we are addressing it using the language it understands. He's not wrong about that, says Denim's. The US only understands violence. Bin Laden's criticism of the United States are all correct. Despite Twitch's prohibition on terrorist propaganda, Twitch gave Denim's a slap on the wrist by banning her for just a day. We know why this is in here, okay? We know why this is in here. This is not about... She expressed intent to steal viewership. And why even pretend? Why even pretend? Why even pretend? Unless... What I'm hoping for is... Bin Laden may be dead. But he owned the copyright to that letter. And she didn't blah blah blah. She egregiously stole this dead man's content. Despite Twitch's blah blah blah. On December 12th, 22, in a now deleted video, Denim's responded to the December 8th, 22 video of June Nicole Lapine, which critiqued Balenciaga's advertising campaign that depicted minors in highly sexualized BDSM attire. Rather than acknowledge the widespread concern, Denim's took the absurdly grotesque position of defending Balenciaga's advertising campaign and attempted to paint Sean Head as homophobic. Despite Sean Head not mentioning homosexuality whatsoever, is he trying to pull Balenciaga into this as well? I doubt it, but like, it'd be real funny if that happened somehow. Denim's involvement in the public controversy known as ReactGate provides great insight into her willful disregard for copyright. In early 2022, Hassan and Denims, along with several other Twitch streamers, received intense criticism for conducting group viewing sessions of third-party copyrighted material without permission. In these group view sessions, streamers like Hassan and Denims would watch entire copyrighted works with little to no commentary, sometimes even letting the video play when they were not present or while the streamer was sleeping. Denims does the whole intro to her stream is a bunch of videos, right? Bunch of other people's videos, but it seems like from friends who don't mind. The controversy reached a fever pitch when these group viewing sessions involved mainstream television shows and films. Yes! Hell's Kitchen tweeted at XQC. If I remember correctly, something like that. On February 1st, 2022, the online content creator known as JXC released a video entitled Hassan Piker Jinx on the issue of reaction content. In the video, JXC drew a distinction between reaction videos that provide substantive critique and/or additional insights into the original work, and lazy reaction videos that resemble group viewing sessions. In particular, JXC focused on Hassan's group viewing sessions, including 1. His poverty of commentary, 2. His penchant for doing an empty chair reaction where he lets the video play while he is completely off-screen, and 3. His failure to credit the author of the original video or link to the original content. In a now-deleted response video, Denims defended the unauthorized use of copyrighted content by asserting that viewers prefer watching streamers over original uploads, particularly when the material is curated. She claimed that established fair use standards are irrelevant to live streaming. Oh no. And need not be transformative through substantial commentary or editing. Rather, Denims claimed that a streamer's personality alone can justify the unauthorized rebroadcast of copyrighted material. She's retarded, though, and doesn't know what she's... You can't sue a fucking wild animal, dude. You can't sue, like, a squirrel for stealing your video, okay? Case closed. On February 6th, 2025, Denims and JXE conducted a debate about the propriety of group viewing sessions that was moderated by the online content creator named Chad Logic. The debate video. During the debate, Denims makes several damning statements about her personal perception on the unauthorized use of copyrighted content. Some notable moments are listed below. Early on in the debate, Denims acknowledged that she uses... Is the Bin Laden stuff not going to come up? Or is this just like, she's a fucking terror lover? People do this? Does this work? If I ever get sued, I'm pulling up Kiwi Farms immediately. Finding that lawyer. Early on in the debate, Denims acknowledges that she uses third-party content as filler and that it siphons views away from the original. So I want to be clear on my opinion on like filler content and stuff. Like, I think filler content, you shouldn't do it. I know I do it as a React streamer, and I try to do it only with Vox videos or Vice videos and stuff like that. Because I'm not like directly ripping from one content creator and not like a whole team and stuff. And most of those videos have like 5 million views. I only get like 500 viewers. Likely, I'm not even going to be taking out. I'm taking 50 views from the video. It's a lot harder to feel like, I guess, bad about that. She's doing the shoplifting thing, but about piracy. Okay. Debate video at 8 minutes 50. Shortly thereafter, Denims accepts her own bias in the situation and her desire to use third-party content. Maybe I'm coping because I'm a reactor and I want to have that content. Later in the debate, Denims sets forth her theory to justify a group viewing session of third-party content. The Twitch streamers are curators and provide a communal experience of watching content with their audience who do not want to take time to find YouTube content on their own. There's something that comes to mind immediately that was brought up earlier, that it's stated that she acts as like an attack dog for Hassan, and that she said false things in reaction to the Hassan content nuke. They're simultaneously painting her as one of these lazy reactors, but also this vicious attack dog who was trying to hit him through his content, which would imply a higher level of engagement in that instance, no? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm sure if you click on a random part of the video, I might not be saying anything, sure, whatever. I might walk away from the screen. Oh. Come on. But it's about, like, the communal thing. It's not about the actual show at a certain point. It's like, oh, it's the same reason you watch shows with your friends. You want to watch it with other people, right? Why can't people compare it to, like, Mystery Science Theater or something? I think when it comes to streamers on Twitch, a lot of people go watch streamers on Twitch for the React content almost as a curator. So they don't actually want to go through YouTube themselves and watch a bunch of videos, and they probably never will go through YouTube and click a bunch of videos. They like going to Twitch because they like to have it as, like, the streamer is curating fun content that I want to watch. Worst version of that imaginable. In the history of defenses of piracy, this might be the absolute worst. You're painting yourself into a role as an exaggerated version of the system that drags clicks away. I think that, like, people who are watching content on Twitch, curated Twitch content on Twitch, aren't necessarily people that would be watching content on YouTube. Stop. 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 Stop! Because don't forget, they can only do that because you're there. The argument is, they would never have watched that content if I wasn't adding my shit to it. That's the defense. Because this argument is about a system that only exists because you're doing it. The people who would never have watched that video, whether you're there or not, they wouldn't watch that video. Here, they're only not watching that video because they have you! You fucking absolute... We know she's dumb, but fuck. A lot of the time, the reason that they go and watch React streamers is because they don't want to have to do the effort of going and scrolling through YouTube and clicking on recommends. The people who watch Twitch content are specifically there to watch it so they don't have to scroll through YouTube and find a video that they like. And she's emphasizing that it's about the content itself that she's spotlighting. She's so fucking... Like, I knew she was dumb, and I've been exposed to her only a small amount, but fuck me. And we already saw some of this, but it's just... There's no point of watching something a second time. You already watched it. Maybe, like, if you're watching it with some other people or something, or it's been a long time, you might rewatch the video. Stop! But once you watch the video in one place, it's pretty unlikely that you're going to go back and watch it again. What are you fucking doing? Oftentimes, I've found people will actually, especially when you're in the domain of, like, political takes, spicy commentary, current events, people will watch the original and then they'll watch multiple reacts to get different takes and engage with different people. If someone watches content on someone, like, you can bring up that people go the other way around. When you're dealing with hot stuff, people do consume a lot of it over and over and over and over again, actually. If someone watches content on someone else's stream, there is a very low likelihood that they're going to watch it separately and give you the viewer the like. Background of H3 Snark. It was like a circle jerk. Yeah, it consists of fallen fans of a particular entertainer. Yada 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 yada. The Kleins are dual Israeli-American citizens. Hila was born and raised in Israel, where she served as secretary during a mandatory conscription. While both are highly supportive of Palestinian self-determination, extremely critical of Israel and its government, the Kleins support a two-state solution as the best interim solution to the conflict. In the wake of October 7th, Hassan emerged as the modern incarnation... What the fuck? In the wake of October 7th, Hassan emerged as the modern incarnation of the Grand Mufti Hajj Amin al-Husseini. Like al-Husseini, Hassan became a passionate advocate and highly charismatic leader of the Palestinian cause. I wouldn't... You're bigging him up, like, too much. You're actually giving him too much credit, I would suggest. Like al-Husseini, Hassan used his massive platform to spread genocidal rhetoric about anyone advocating for the right of Jewish self-determination in their ancestral homeland, i.e. Zionists. If anything comes out of this lawsuit, they're gonna look for fucking blood in return. This is what I'm talking about. They're gonna want scalps. They're gonna want scalps in return for this. The primary difference between Hassan and al-Husseini is that al-Husseini worked with the Nazis and advocated the annihilation of Jews, while Hassan advocates the annihilation of all Zionists, Since the vast majority of Jews in the United States say caring about Israel is essential or important, this would necessarily include the vast majority of Jews. Even Why is this in here? Even if they support the Palestinian cause and vehemently condemn the actions of the Israeli government. What is happening? Al-Husseini meets Adolf Hitler, November 28th. Al-Husseini with his close friend, Heinrich Himmler. A little quote from him. Arabs, rise as one man and fight for your sacred rights. Kill the Jews whenever you find them. I disavow. This pleases God, history, and religion. This saves your honor. God is with you. On October 12th, 2023, the last episode of Leftovers aired. It comprised of a discussion between Ethan and Hassan regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict and the events of October 7th. During the discussion, Ethan expressed his support of the Palestinian cause and empathy for their suffering, along with condemning Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. At the same time, Ethan attempted to humanize the victims of October 7th to Hassan in the hope that empathy and mutual understanding could begin to heal the divide. Hassan was unpersuaded, and the relationship with Ethan and Hassan began to deteriorate. Hassan disagreed that these were human beings. In the aftermath of the falling out between Ethan and Hassan, HV Snark became a radioactive hub of fallen fans of TEI content and the clients. Here's how it wraps around. Okay. It became a focal point for spreading vicious lies, outlandish conspiracy theories, and hallucinatory misrepresentations about the clients. Despite their hatred towards the clients, the users of H3 Snark had an insatiable appetite for TEI's content. The H3 Snark users, however, did not want TEI to receive any views or advertising revenue from their consumption of TEI's contents. They're a detractor community, yes. As a result, H3 Snark became a locus of copyright infringement of TEI content, as detailed below. One method the mods employed to consume TEI content was to share links of TEI content on YouTube, a site that provides unauthorized access to YouTube videos and publicly performs them, which constitutes copyright infringement. YouTube had a particular appeal to H3 Snark mods and H3 Snark users because the video watched on YouTube does not result in a view or advertising revenue to the original. Mods conducted live chats during TEI's live broadcasts. During the live chats, the mods would spam the chat with YouTube links of the broadcast. Once the live stream ended, the H3 Snark mods concealed the evidence of their copyright infringement by deleting the live chat logs. Below are true and correct screenshots of the mods spamming the live chat. I see. Seems legit to me. Seems legit to me. Did you know locusts are just grasshoppers with an evil mode? They pump serotonin, right? That's their thing. I have one for you. Did you know that a Sherlock, or axolotls as you might know them, have a mature stage, have a stage of maturity that they can only reach if they are injected with iodine? They can't reach it normally. They don't go through their full development unless you fucking inject them. That sounds like a dream I had, but I think it's real. That is either a dream I had or totally real. One or the other. 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance. Thank you for soldiering on through this, by the way. Here is your reward for sticking with me. A hot sorb. A hot sorb. Enjoy. Seems real. We encourage folks to watch on YouTube since it doesn't play ads or contribute to their view counts. Sure. Subreddit is 100% encouraging it. We saw that already, yes. Under the Snark Wiki page for tools, tips, guides, H3 Snark mods also instructed H3 Snark users on how to create clips of TEI content so these clips could be posted on Snark. The mods even instructed them how to download members-only content so they could be posted on Snark. To hide their inducement of copyright infringement, the H3 Snark mods deleted the portion on downloading members-only content from the guide. A true and correct screenshot of the portion regarding members-only content is provided below. Can I? May I see it? Yo! Now I can steal members-only content. Thank you for distributing this knowledge. I appreciate it. Thank you. TEI issues takedown notices for infringing posts and comments on H3 Snark. I remember he complained that, is it Trisha Paytas got her shit nuked, but Snark was shielded from his multiple requests, his multiple takedown requests. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know about you guys. I'm not too interested in H3 Snark. And it does just seem, yes, they were pirating your shit 100%. The H3 Snark shit is like, they were pirating your shit, just distributing it raw. Blah, blah, blah. In its entirety. So that fucking clip doesn't apply. The clip of Ethan saying, clip my stuff, I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. Where are we? Okay. Now we hit. TEI creates and registers the nuke. This is what we want, right? By the fall of 2024, Ethan and Neela Klein's concern reached a fever pitch over Hassan radicalizing his audience with propaganda from Ansar Allah, aka the Houthis. Is it Houthi or Thi? I don't know about their sounds. Hezbollah and Hamas. The Kleins were equally concerned with Twitch's refusal to enforce its community guidelines against Hassan and his so-called waiting room, i.e. other Twitch streamers like Denims who parrot Hassan and parasitically blah blah blah. Hassan and his waiting room hijacked the necessary and important discussion of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Gaza war. They employed genocidal rhetoric that painted all Israelis as subhuman warranting annihilation. If I don't stream tomorrow, it's because I'm sick. My throat hurts real bad. Could just be dryness, though. I'll go out to the store after the stream and get some lozenges for tomorrow. I mean, I do mints, but like these aren't helping with my throat. Do you guys do mints? Alright. There were 100%, by the way, at the 9 Inch Nails show. The security takes the most cursory peek inside your bag. There were people at that show off their fucking tits. They were not just having the double pints. Okay? I'm just saying. The term Zionist lost all meaning and quickly mutated into a thinly veiled dog whistle for Jews. The term Zionist was used as a slur to paint anyone who supported the existence of Israel or a two-state solution as a Kahanist, Jewish supremacist, or Israeli religious nationalist. In the most recent Israeli legislative election in 2022, the coalition of these parties only received 10.84% of the vote. Bro, come on. To combat the tsunami of hateful rhetoric, Ethan and Neela Klein, through TEI, created Content Nuke, Hassan Piker. The nuke was written, shot, and edited from December 2024 through January 25. On January 27, 2024... You mean 2025? 4 days before the nuke was publicly released on TEI's H3 Productions YouTube channel, TEI submitted its application to register the nuke with the United States Copyright Office. On January 28th, the USCO received the... I misread that as dog shit copy. Received the deposit copy of the nuke. The registration number for the nuke is that. The deposit copy varied slightly from the broadcast version. First, the deposit copy did not contain the conclusion and sponsor segment that was contained in the broadcast version. Second, to prevent the nuke from being age-restricted by YouTube, TEI was required to fully blur out the footage of the Houthis entering the bridge of the Galaxy Leader and black out the footage of Hamas releasing hostages from November 2023. Do you think this matters? In terms of what they stole being eligible for statutory damages? Third, I have literally no idea. Third, minor visual edits were made. Ultimately, all of the deposit copy was incorporated into the broadcast version. Okay, that's probably what matters. The Nuke. The Nuke is a tragicomic documentary critiquing Hasan and Twitch. It contains original footage, highly edited montages, parodic skits, and archival materials, a great deal of which are owned by TEI. The Nuke can be divided into 7 sections. The prologue walks the audience to... Are we really... They really are just going to describe the video. I have my doubts there's anything worth reading there. Ethan critiques his son's belief. Yada yada yada. Oh my god. Hasan exacerbates the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. I think his influence is exaggerated a little bit. Okay? Blah blah blah. There's the tier list. The countdown episode and its registration. Okay, the countdown was registered as well. The countdown is registered too. January 31st, TEI made a live broadcast of the countdown episode immediately before releasing the Nuke. The countdown episode covered various topics and was 1 hour 6 minutes in duration. A true and correct copy of the deposit copy is located on the flash drive as Exhibit F. Okay. After TEI discovered that Denims infringed the countdown episode, it registered countdown episode with the USCO on March 31st. I believe that means infringement of that is not eligible for statutory damages, right? Just actual damages. Am I crazy? H3 Snark promotes Denims. Yeah. That's real and true. I'm just scanning for anything funny being said. Yeah. The law of fair use in reaction videos. Let's go for this. Fair use is codified in Section 107 of the Copyright Act. The statute sets forth 4 non-exclusive factors courts consider to evaluate fair use. I thought it was 5. The purpose and character of the use, including whether such use is of a commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. The nature of the copyrighted work. I think that's a fucking big one with political commentary. But anyway, or should be, morally. The amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work as a whole, and the effect of the use upon the potential market for or value of the copyrighted work. This is like the funny one that I keep coming back to, wherein primarily what they're saying and what they're doing is an acknowledgement of a pre-existing system. The Snark subreddit is absolutely inducing people to commit infringement or to engage with examples of infringement and to watch it instead. You got Frogan pretty good on that. You got Denims a bit with that one quote on inducing people, but the first fair use factor relates to the problem of substitution, i.e. whether the new work supersedes or supplants the original. The central question is whether the secondary work adds something new with a further purpose or different character. The mere fact that a secondary use has some further purpose or adds something new does not render such use fair use. Rather, whether an allegedly infringing use has a further purpose or different character is a matter of degree, and the degree of difference must be weighed against other considerations like commercialism. While a use that has a further purpose or different character is said to be transformative, transformativeness is a matter of degree. Yeah. And just because it jumps one hurdle doesn't mean it beats the other ones, and they all matter, blah, 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 blah. The first factor also relates to the justification of the use, both in the broad sense and the narrower sense. A use is justified in the broad sense if it has a distinct purpose that furthers the goal of copyright, namely to promote the progress of science and the arts, without diminishing the incentive to create. A use is justified in the narrower sense. So, this part, I don't think they really have her on. Based on the motivation of the video and what it was. It was not merely a commercial venture for ad revenue. But whatever. As in Ethan's video was not merely a production to make money back on. But in a category of political speech and giving takes and, in a sense, activism. As they laid out themselves, it was activism. So, even while siphoning viewers away, it doesn't diminish the impetus of Save Palestine or whatever the fuck they're saying it does. Right? I'll get to the Casey Tron one after... Wait. There's no Casey Tron one yet! We'll look at the Frogurt one. Such justification is particularly relevant to assessing fair use, where wide dissemination of a secondary work would otherwise run the risk of substitution for the original or licensed derivatives. Again, the question of justification is one of degree. A critical book review illustrates how a secondary use must be justified both in the broad and narrow sense. In the broad sense, the use of the original serves a different purpose than the book, i.e. criticism and commentary. In the narrow sense, each quoted passage within the review likely serves a different purpose than it does in the book. Yep. Critically, this may not always be so, and a court must consider each use within the whole to determine whether the copying is fair. Consequently, even book reviews are not entitled to a presumption of fairness. Of course, there are several indicia. Is that what? Is that just mean indicators? That's a... My language is lacking. Fake English speaker. Indicia. Yeah, indicators. Ah. Fancy. Fancy lawyer. The indicia of when a use for criticism or commentary is not sufficiently transformative to justify a secondary use. When the commentary has no critical bearing on the substance or style of the original composition, the claim to fairness in borrowing from another's work diminishes accordingly. If it does not vanish, and other factors, like the extent of its commerciality, loom larger. It's all a balance, yes. Indeed, a loose topical connection with the original work is equally problematic. When a defendant copies more than is necessary to facilitate comment or criticism, the law is clear that, to be considered transformative criticism, the aspects of a work that reproduce another's protected expression must be in service of commentary on that work. It is not enough for part of a work to have a transformative purpose. Sure. When the use of the copyrighted work is not consistently transformative, for example when clips are, this is making me think, I guess what I want to get at is, technically, all these video game streamers could have been pounded into the fucking dirt by publishers. But there came to be a standard where they understood, in their case, it's better to let people advertise our game for free. With content that primarily exists to further discourse, to give takes and stuff, you can pound them into the ground. Sometimes they are absolutely infringing, it's not fair use. I think for this kind of thing, it would be good if there was very much a cultural standard of, don't touch. Like, even in cases like this. They were indeed. And luckily, Nintendo hasn't fully chilled. Luckily, overwhelmingly, the industry understands. Nintendo is still a bit of an outlier, and they do some fucked stuff. They're not as bad. I think Nintendo still diddle you in terms of not letting you make ad revenue. They do the like claim of it, but don't hit you down so much. But yeah. The use of voiceovers, headlines, or captions, or wholesale copying sprinkled with written commentary fails to sufficiently transform blah 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 blah. Okay, let's go for the argument specifically about denims. I think we're all aware of the balance of factors, yada yada, so on and so forth. Denim's group viewing session failed to make a fair use of the Countdown episode. That is the stream that preceded its launch. It is readily apparent that the primary and overriding purpose of Denim's use of the Countdown episode was to commercially exploit a group viewing session of the Countdown episode and have it serve as a substitute for the original. This is evidenced by watching long sections of the Countdown episode without any or very little interruption, frequently for several minutes at a time. In a completely separate instance, Denims provides an empty chair reaction. Yeah, true, she did. I've seen it. I've seen it. Going to pee. For 2 minutes and 21 seconds, Denim's lets the countdown episode play while she is off screen, relieving herself. Yeah. When she returns, she's silent for an additional minute. In total, Denim's group viewing session was 1 hour, 3 minutes, 56 seconds. Denim's provided approximately 4 minutes and 43 seconds of brief and superficial commentary. Yeesh. That's just fucking lame content, though. As well. Forget intellectual property. That just fucking sucks. The countdown episode take up approximately 3/4 of the screen. Yada 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 yada. The more interesting part would be, let's go for the actual content nuke. Oh, we have watch party underlined. Yeah, there's the quote from the beginning. Watching Hassan content nuke from Ethan Klein. During Denim's group viewing session, Denim's responds to each other by saying, "Unfortunately, we are watching the Ethan nuke." Emphasis. Watching. Emphasis. Watching. Immediately after her group viewing session of the nuke, Denim states, "Well guys, if you enjoyed not giving any views to that terrible video, follow, subscribe, throw a prime. If you like the content, if you enjoyed your time here. I appreciate you guys tuning in with me because, I'm going to be honest, I did not want to watch that by myself." February 1st, Denim stated, "Later, after streaming, I found out I got signal boosted by Hassan. Hascord and the subreddit, what is it called, H3 Snark, and I know all of those people didn't want to give the video another view, which is why they watched it with me. And probably a lot of people, because they ended their H3 show immediately before releasing the video, so there probably was a lot of people that came to watch it here, because they wanted to see what someone who would disagree with it would say." That's a better thing for her to be saying. They don't want to fucking see it. They want to see it get torn to pieces. They would never in a million years just watch it. They want to see someone rip it. Denim's attempt to feign ignorance of H3 Snark is transparently and comically false. Rather, it is clear Denim's and the H3 Snark mods coordinated their efforts. Okay, indeed, after ending her group viewing session of the nuke, Denim's screen shows that she had the H3 Snark subreddit on her screen the entire time. Right, now show me the connection to the mods. Denim begins a group viewing session of the nuke 1 minute after the nuke was released. The timing of the viewing session demonstrates that she did not pre-screen it to formulate her opinions prior to broadcast. This is like a pretty bullshit argument. Granted, as far as I'm aware, she did not perform this well. She's probably an expert on Hassan. On your feet commentary on something you are aware you are highly likely to have some things to say about, and that you have, in a sense, expertise on, as a Hassan orbiter, I think that's a valid and valuable form of content that lore might be behind a bit, as it often is. This idea that, formulation of opinion is necessary. If you have expertise, and you know what the topic of something is, you are aware of the likelihood of you having something to say. Not saying that she did that, but this is kind of old-fashioned. Rather, Denim's timed her group viewing sessions to occur immediately after the nuke was released to capitalize on the great public interest in the nuke and siphon as many viewers as possible away from the original to herself. In other words, her priority was to personally and financially benefit from providing a substitute for the original, and any commentary and criticism was a mere afterthought. I'm sure her primary concern was getting attention, yeah. I feel like this is countered a bit by the whole Hassan attack dog spiel at the start. On 74 separate occasions, Denim's group viewing session consisted of watching the nuke for 30 seconds or more with no commentary whatsoever, or at most an unintelligible word or phrase. In total, these excerpts comprised over 70 minutes of the nuke i.e. 70% of its total runtime. The poverty of Denham's commentary, coupled by frequently showing long, unadulterated portions of the nuke, further demonstrates that the overriding and dominant purpose of Denham's group viewing session was to serve as a substitute for the original and not to provide critical commentary. Yada 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 yada.
69 dudes.
Here we go. Examples. Thank you so much, Airflow, for the sub. Everyone fire a salvo, please. Oh. During Denham's group viewing session, she admits she is not providing sufficient... Hang on. The mods posted hers as an example of somewhere to watch. Yeah. You have to show the link going the other way. For me, I'd like to see her direct involvement with those mods. During Denham's group viewing session, she admits she's not providing sufficient commentary because she does not want to pause frequently. This bitch is retarded. Can I say it again? This further emphasizes the primary purpose of her group viewing session was to watch the nuke, and any commentary was an afterthought. Just suicidal. Just suicidal. If I sat here and explained why he was wrong for like half of these things, we'd be here for another 20 hours. Good! More content! I've gone in and tried to explain why he's incorrect on like 1 in every 10 incorrect takes, because I'm not trying to spend an entire week here. I don't even understand what to say about, because, yeah, this is wrong because of this, another wrong take, okay. Well, I just paused it for 10 minutes. I feel bad pausing it again, because surely there'll be something better here. Denham's admission that she failed to address the majority of points raised in the nuke is self-evident. This further emphasizes that Denham's primary purpose was to host a group viewing session. Blah, 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 blah. Denham's failed to address the following points, so this is where she didn't say much. Okay, sure. Denham's even mocks the nuke for making a fair use of third-party clips by stating, "Isn't it weird that a lot of these clips are like 5 seconds short, not 5 seconds long, 5 seconds short?" This statement reveals Denham's complete and total ignorance of fair use, particularly in the context of reaction videos. The content nuke wasn't a reaction video. With live stuff, you want to err on the side of pause Andy. To make sure you don't end up having things run too long. With prepared content, you're not automatically not fair use if you use a big section. Particularly because, as they explained, you've watched it, you have a take prepared. Maybe it makes sense and you need to show a longer clip. Sometimes you need to show a longer clip to illustrate the point you're making. It's a reasonable critique to be like, this is short as fuck. I find it sus. I find that sus. I don't know if that's what she's doing. I don't have enough context there. If I see a real short clip in a video like that, the red flag for me is, hold up what was said on either side of it. And then I want to go check it myself. How's the Denham's GoFundMe going? Denham's could have easily avoided these embarrassing moments by watching the nuke beforehand. I don't think she could have. I also think... Now, she's not doing this. She's not doing this. I think it is its own form of content to go in blind and do your best to hit it as hard as you can and adapt. Almost as if the video is like a fucking canned debate opponent. Like a demonstration of skill at adapting to your previous commentary being countered and stuff. I don't know, it's fun. Sport. Training for debates you'll never ever do. Like yelling in the shower. Very valuable to our democracy, by the way. Should be protected at all costs. Probably this one. 7.25 thousand United States dongaroos donated. Okay. Alright. Someone gave her $5 and said you should settle. I think I fucking caught something in Manchester, man. I got that thick slime in my throat and it hurts. Ooh. Well, she is not saying a lot. Probably quite wisely. She literally just says, Ethan Klein is suing me for reacting to his video on Hassan. This fundraiser is to cover any and all legal fees. Done. Done. Vup. 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 Don't say any more. Who is dog? It's just a neighbor somewhere. My window is open because I've got the aircon tube going out of it. Okay. They were making comments on new proposed. The evidence that Denham's claim was absent. After seeing the evidence, Denham just expresses confusion in the section discussing the types of fans Hassan attracts, such as the online content creator. Dating and money. Denham claims that Dating and Money is not a Hassan fan, but a fan of another streamer. Immediately after making this comment, the nuke shows a clip of Dating and Money meeting Hassan and effusively praising him. Stop. This is trying to, like, litigate whose take on this stuff is correct and true. I believe this is the guy who it's contested. The characterization of him as, like, he's just a Hassan fan. I believe they contest that. Even with that clip. Even with that clip. Hassan certainly did. Goes on tangents. After Ethan's critique of Hassan's apologia of Chinese imperialism and authoritarianism, Denhams goes on a nonsensical tangent about the Chinese credit score system, which is not discussed or referenced in the nuke whatsoever. Is it totally nonsensical? New information is added, and maybe she has a reason she thinks it's relevant. Maybe other people will agree that it's relevant. So Siffy, they're trying to... So they're going for, like, she didn't say anything. And this is them taking chunks of things she did say and trying to say, BAM! This doesn't count. BAM! This doesn't count as commentary. It's irrelevant to the video whatsoever. Denhams goes on a protracted tangent about how Frogan is more American than her. That's probably fucking irrelevant. Whatever. Leave this to the courts. Leave this to the courts. Bop. Denhams repeatedly makes the misleading claim that Ethan performed a Nazi salute. Denhams intentionally omits the fact that Ethan was making fun of Elon Musk performing a Nazi salute at President Trump's inauguration. This is like a... This is potential inception. What does Elon Musk claim about his little Nazi salute? I don't know if he said anything about it, actually. Denhams repeatedly claims that Ethan praised Israel's former Minister of Defense, Gallant. This is false as demonstrated below Hila critiqued Benjamin. By saying, just the other day, Bibby fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement. Ethan clarified by stating... Is that clarifying? That's his own step in, right? Ethan clarified by stating he was a moderating voice in the war room. This was correct insofar as Netanyahu fired Gallant, in large part due to Gallant's criticism of Netanyahu's handling of the war in Gaza, and the Israeli public protested Gallant's dismissal. Denims claims Ethan praised Israel's former Minister of Defense. Ethan's wife describes him as a good guy. Ethan adds he was a moderating voice in the war room. That's positive commentary that could be conceived of as praise. Whatever. This is fucking wanko shit. Fuck off. This is for like a bad YouTube video. Alright. Denims claims that propaganda does not require lying. The Oxford English Dictionary disagrees and defines propaganda as the systematic dissemination of information, especially in a biased or misleading way, in order to promote a particular cause or point of view. That definition doesn't disagree! That doesn't counter her claim! Okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Also, having used the full Oxford English Dictionary, normally they give you a fucking bunch of definitions that are in common use. They give you archaic definitions. They don't just fucking give you one, and the one you picked didn't counter it. Fuck me. After Ethan refutes Hassan's contentions about whether Houthis hijacked the Galaxy Leader, Denims claims that half of what Ethan showed is false without identifying the falsehoods, let alone demonstrating how they were false. Denims claims it's impossible that 60% of Israelis are from the Middle East. Unsurprisingly, Denims' statement is baseless. Peer-reviewed study found that well over 55% of Israeli Jews are either fully or partially Mizrahi, Sephardi, or Ethiopian heritage. More recent data from the Jewish People Policy Institute confirms that a substantial majority of Israelis self-identify as Mizrahi or mixed origin. That doesn't quite actually directly counter her statement, though. Denims misleadingly claims that the Houthis were designated as a terrorist organization only after Hassan's January blah blah blah. Sephardi are like Spanish Jews, right? Am I crazy? Where's the amount being sued for? They're going for statutory damages. Which I think with copyright infringement is like 150 grand per work? Yes? So I guess like 300k? I'm not a lawyer, I just googled this shit. Alright? I just googled this shit. Two works infringed, 300k? Any lawyers in chat? Not talking actual damages, just statutory, which seems to be what he really wants to go for, because I imagine the actual damages will be very, very, very small. Like less than $500. Downer stuff. Is this just the Israeli defense section of the documents? Oh, Frogan crossover. Let's go. When Ethan discusses Frogan's statements that she wished soldiers in the United States military get PTSD and lose their health insurance, Denims claims Frogan apologized for the comment immediately afterwards. This is false 3 times over. As far as I'm aware, it's correct that that's false. Not only did Frogan fail to immediately apologize, she never apologized and even doubled down on the statement. And laughed about it. Yes. Called it based. Yes. There we go. I'm aware. During the same session, Denims attempts to deflect criticism of Frogan because she was emotional. Okay. Oh, what's going here? Denims, who is not Jewish. I shouldn't yell that too loud. My neighbors can hear me. And all they hear is me yelling not Jewish. Denims, who is not Jewish. Your Honor, she's not Jewish. Makes the grotesquely bigoted statement that it is anti-Semitic to associate Zionism with Judaism. Normally people go conflate. Normally they don't just say associate, because of course Zionism's associated with Judaism. Shortly thereafter, a chatter confronts Denims by explaining approximately 90% of Jews are Zionists. Without any substantiation, Denims claims that this was derived from a poll with a sample size of 26 and that 1/3 of Jews thinks Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Denims' assertion is completely and totally baseless. A 2019-2020 Pew Research Center study of 4,718 American Jews found 82% considered caring about Israel to be essential or important to what it means to be Jewish. In another poll in December 2024 of 800 American Jewish adults, 70% think anti-Zionist movements are anti-Semitic by definition. Uh-oh. And only 9% strongly disagree with that statement. This is cooked. This is... On the exceedingly rare instances where Denims does cite extrinsic sources, have to support this country, or you're against this ethnicity. Okay. Does cite extrinsic sources. Denims, or religion, or whatever they feel like presenting themselves at any given moment in time. Denims completely misrepresents the source material. This further evidence is she was utterly unprepared to provide criticism of the nuke, and the extent of her criticism suffers as a result. Below are some notable examples. Okay. During this section where Ethan discusses the forced expulsion of Mizrahi Jews from Arab countries, Denims makes the maliciously ahistorical assertion that Jews were treated well in Arab countries, even claiming to be well read on the subject. It is evident that Denims fundamentally fails to grasp the horrors Jews endured in Arab countries. Okay. I already learned all this in Holocaust class, alright? I don't want to stir people up too much. Yeah, Siffy, she did no research and doesn't know anything. But she maliciously is knowingly lying. Simultaneously. I will repeatedly glorify terrorism and terrorists. Yada 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 yada. I want to get to the Fatoids one real quick. She ran ads and got revenue. Sure. I would like to suggest again that if this sets any kind of precedence, as I believe Ethan was saying he hopes it would, it's gonna rape everyone who does reaction content. It's gonna fucking, not talking about the Israel comments, but reacting to things as a genre, showing your ability to do that, showing off your flair for thinking on your feet. It's over. It's done. Blah, blah, blah. Yada, yada, yada. Oh! Hang on. Incorporates by reference the allegations contained in the preceding paragraphs. TI is the sole owner, I guess, of the copyrights in the Countdown episode of The Nuke. TEI registered his copyrights in the Countdown episode of The Nuke with the USCO. Denims accessed the Countdown episode from TEI's YouTube. The Nuke from TEI's YouTube. TEI did not grant any license, authorization, or consent for Denims to exploit the Countdown episode or The Nuke in any manner. Rather, Denims group viewing session, blah, 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 blah. Due to the acts of copyright infringement, TEI has suffered damages in an amount to be established at trial. Due to copyright infringement, Denims obtained profits she would not have realized but for her infringement of TEI's copyrights in the Countdown episode of The Nuke. They were done with actual or constructive knowledge of TEI's rights, such that said acts of copyright infringement were willful, intentional, malicious, and or taken with reckless disregard for TEI's rights. Goodbye, React content. TEI incorporates by reference the allegation contained. Second claim for relief, by the way. That's for the snark mods. TEI prays for judgment against Denims and the H3 snark mods as follows. The TEI award defendants profits plus TEI's losses attributable to defendants' infringement of the Countdown episode, the exact sum to be proven at time of trial. That TEI be awarded defendants' profits plus TEI's losses attributable to defendants' infringements of the nuke, the exact sum to be proven at time of trial. Or, if elected, statutory damages in the amount of, it's going to be 150 grand. If it's just for that one, 150 grand. As available under that. TEI be awarded its reasonable attorney's fees, awarded prejudgment interest as allowed by law. Further relief such as the court deems proper. Demands a jury trial. Okay. Alright. Rombarnism. It's a new kind of noodle, isn't it? Alright, let's quickly look at the Fatoid one. Imagine when the Firewatch devs told PewDiePie they would strike him if he played it. I don't remember that shit. Did they pull that? Let him play it and sue him for copyright infringement. Oh, man. Okay. How big's this boy? 64. Frogan reacting by exiting. Rising star. Time to watch the nuke ethically, yeah. Can I use the bathroom? I'll leave it playing, yeah. Looks like there's a bunch of copy pasta, and then it's Snarkage. Named again. Same 10 mods, I presume. Firewatch was so good. It really struck me in my heart. In Firewatch, you know, after you clip through the wall and then you find the floating single ski. Really meant a lot to me. Really meant a lot to me. Okay. Frogan. And then a bunch of wigglers. Let's go here. Frogan began streaming in June 2019 and on a more regular basis in August 2021. Frogan's career peaked in August 2022 when she averaged 738 viewers on a stream. Ever since, Frogan has steadily lost popularity. In January 2025, Frogan averaged 160 viewers a stream. Better than me! Frogan holds herself out as an expert. The area of her expertise, however, has yet to reveal itself. She claims to be a public health expert, yet Frogan admits her academic and professional career in public health was stunted by her lack of self-discipline. And personal health. According to Frogan, her academic advisor conducted an intervention to ensure she would complete her master's degree. Frogan also admitted to abandoning her brief career in public health after her boss wanted to discuss her performance with the manager of her department. Frogan frequently portrays herself as a victim, particularly to cast herself as a Muslim woman persecuted by quote-unquote Zionists. The inconsistencies in her evolving narratives, however, reveal that she is not a victim at the hands of others, but her own. The following examples illustrate this pattern. Is this a fucking Kiwi Farms thread? The professor who failed her. On August 7, 2016, Frogan posted on X that her professor made her write about the Arab-Israeli conflict and gave her a D on the paper, when she was the only hijabi in the class. Nearly a year later, the story changed to make the professor seem worse. On June 10th, Frogan posted on X that the professor gave her an F because what she said about Israel was wrong. Several years later, the story mutated further to make the professor seem divorced from reality. Frogan posted on X that a professor assigned her, the only Arab in the class, to do a project about the Arab-Israeli conflict and failed her when she talked about how Palestine is occupied by Israel. In this instance, Frogan provided a screenshot summarizing 2 slides from this paper, a project, one of which contains a glaring inaccuracy that Frogan admits was wrong. In this slide, Frogan claimed that there were over 400 million Palestinians live in refugee camps in occupied territories in other Arab states. According to the UNWRA, there are only 1.5 million Palestinians living in refugee camps. This glimpse into Frogan's paper and its obvious inaccuracy reveals why Frogan received their low grade. Her paper was wrong. This is like a Facebook meme. Yeah. Look. He's not saying it didn't happen. He just thinks those numbers are way too high. Anyway. Instead, Frogan painted herself the victim of a fanatical professor who discriminated against her and promulgated a counterfactual narrative that Israel is not occupying the West Bank and Gaza. The Zionist therapist. This was about Frogan, not Kanye. On October 24th, 2019, Frogan posted on X that she went to therapy for the first time, and after talking about her dad fleeing the Israel-Lebanon war, she was taken aback when her therapist responded with, "I'm Israeli, do you have any issues with me being your therapist?" As a self-described public health expert, Frogan should have realized that her therapist was adhering to the American Counseling Association's Code of Ethics, the American Psychological Association's Ethical Principles of Psychologists, and Code of Conduct. Okay. Several years later, the experience mutated. When Ethan responded that Frogan was using Zionists as a dog whistle for Jews, which was clearly the case. Is it in this instance? Here they're defining it as, like, liking Israel. I don't think the therapist was like, I'm an Israeli and I hate that. Unless they're using a different definition of Zionist in this complaint. They agree with their characterization of this therapist as a Zionist, surely. When Ethan responded that Frogan was using Zionists as a dog whistle for Jews, and the therapist specifically said Israeli, Frogan made another post that painted the therapist as absurdly rabid and unethical. Below is a true and correct screenshot. Okay. When I say Zionist, I don't mean she was Jewish. I mean she was a racist Israeli who could not help herself but to confront me about my ethnicity. Okay. Prior to October 7th, Frogan was an effusive fan of Ethan and the podcast series that he co-hosted with Hassan Piker, entitled Leftovers. Once October 7th occurred, Frogan's social media activity demonstrated her support for Hamas and endorsement of blood libel conspiracy theories. She was saying some fucking crazy shit. Below are some examples. On October 7th, i.e. when Jews and Israelis were gripped by panic and fear for their loved ones, Frogan posted on X, leftists preach and foam at the mouth at the thought of a revolution happening in America. But as soon as it happens in the Middle East, what they're doing is wrong. Due to the insensitivity and timing of the post, Ethan decided to quietly unfollow Frogan. Shortly thereafter, Frogan liked a post on X by Alexa Vulovich, known as Boy Boy, that was posted on October 7th, which stated, "It's game over for Israel. James Bond is officially fighting for Hamas." Frogan made a public scene over Ethan unfollowing her. That feeling when one of your favorite content creators unfollows for being pro-Palestine Lamau. She then went to the Discord to indulge in self-pity. Okay, here we go. On November 17th, that's my birthday, Frogan liked a tweet spreading grotesque blood libel that falsely claimed Israel admitted to harvesting skin and organs from dead Palestinians to use for skin grafts and organ transplants, and the majority of skin in Israel's skin bakes was skin bake? That sounds like something you get at a delicatessen. Not a Jewish one. Was stolen from Palestinians they killed. Below is a true and correct screenshot. Okay. Frogan serves as one of the moderators of Hassan's chat, far from being neutral arbiter. Welcome to fucking Twitch mods. Okay? Welcome to Twitch mods. Far from being neutral arbiter, Frogan weaponizes her role in as Hassan's enforcer to ruthlessly silence dissent and cruelly target her enemies. My mods are instructed just to get rid of anyone who disagrees with me, while elevating those who excuse and justify terror and violence. For example, on November 9th, Hassan and Ethan discussed the Israel-Palestine conflict. Hassan's chat was replete with hateful and bigoted comments about Ethan, which Frogan refused to moderate out of vindictiveness towards Ethan. Then there's the fucking snark shit. The copy-paste. Needs more Hitler, they decided, and posted it again. H3 snark. Overview of the nuke, which we have watched. Frogan was also promoted, going over fair use. She shouts out Snark. Okay, gonna watch it live, blah blah blah. Commentary counting. I'm sure there'll be fun stuff with what she actually says. Let's go. There's the can I use the bathroom or leave it playing thing. Hassan's hatred of liberals. Yeah, of course, he's a leftist. Frogan fails to address a single substantive point raised in the Hezbollah section of the nuke. Calling people a bitch is Frogan's personal favorite. There's what we saw in Ethan's video, mostly. Frogan is not a pacifist. Surface level insults and complaints? Sure. She was excited at being included in the nuke. She repeats her assertion regarding the PTSD comment, repeats her assertion that the clip was taken out of context, but when the context is shown, i.e. that her comment does not apply to veterans who confess their sins, it does not ameliorate the criticism. Repeatedly stating that she is embarrassed by what she said, despite continuing to laugh over her statements about veterans, and 3, falsely stating she was banned for 30 days due to her statements, when the actual reason for her ban was the racial tier list she hosted at TwitchCon. Exhibit H. Rich Stanton cited. Okay. Alright. I'm scanning for juice. I'm scanning for juice. Copy pasta. Zionists think you're a Jew hater if you're, you know, anti-Zionist. Surprise. I imagine that number is probably correct. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, that was a huge waste of time. There were funny bits, though. There were funny bits. But that is going to be all for tonight. I was scanning for funny bits. I was scanning for goobers. There is no Casey-tron complaint draft available. I didn't listen. Hey, I said if I needed to fill time, I would play trash games. I may not stream tomorrow. It'll depend if it's just like I've got a dry throat, I'll be streaming. Like if I get better, if I'm sick, I have a feeling I will not be able to talk tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Fair warning, tomorrow I might have to take a sick day. Because if I'm just sick, I'll stream. But like if I'm fucked up and I can't talk, obviously I won't. But hopefully I'll be there tomorrow. Thanks for the viewership, companionship, incredible generosity. Lots of donors today. Thank you so much. Lots of subs as well. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. We'll fuck around. I'll play some of my trash games. A lot of horror games. Whatever. We'll see how it is. God, my face is fucking running. Until then, though, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let Ethan's lawyer bite. It was funny today, at least. It was funny.